Hey, salutes to everybody. Welcome back. Make sure y'all hit the like and share button. Get the numbers up, and I think I may extend the show and let y'all call in and weigh in. I'm going to review these videos, but listen, I want to point some out before we start. This ain't clickbait. This is not clickbait. Billy Carson is now teaching about the Firmament Dome. But there's a lot to point out because of that now. Let's revisit this video right here real quick, and we'll go back to that one.
How do you feel about the firmament as well? Have you ever heard of that before? Like the dome supposedly covering?
Yeah, that's actually a misnomer. If you look into the ancient Egyptian temples, you have Nut, and Nut bends over backwards, creating this
I'm familiar with
swath
that.
of stars in the sky. That is the Milky Way galaxy.
Y'all hear that?
Is demonstrating the Milky Way, which are this is why her body is covered in stars all the way across.
Mm-hmm.
There is no.
And you know why her body is covered in stars? Because the ancestors taught that the fixed stars was inside of the firmament dome. They didn't have no concept of the Milky Way. Guess what? If the ancestors wanted to give you the Milky Way, wouldn't they give you a spiral instead of a dome? Now, is the Milky Way a spiral vortex galaxy, or is it a dome? Now, we all know what the Milky Way galaxy looked like. It's a little disk, right? And it's a spiral. That's nowhere near the shape of a dome. And if this is an argument in your mind, we know you failed geometry class. So the difference is between a dome and a spiral, or even a two-dimensional circle. You can't mistake that. And you know, you bringing up the Egyptians is one thing, but once you bring up the fact that all of the ancestors had a dome, let me go to this real quick. It ain't just the Egyptians. And none of these cultures where you see the firmament dome at, can you find a Milky Way galaxy? I dare you to do it. Listen, I'm daring y'all to do it. I'll shut my YouTube channel down if y'all can find a Milky Way galaxy in the ancient world. Go do your research and prove me wrong, y'all. The only thing you gonna find in the ancient world is a firmament dome with the stars attached to it, like we see here. Look, you see the dome with the fixed stars etched inside of it. So this right here proves Billy Carson don't know nothing about ancient cosmology. He denied it. He disrespected it, but now he's teaching it. And the thing that you need to realize about him teaching it, he's only teaching it on TikTok. On YouTube, he's going against it. So YouTube is viral, Billy Carson is viral on YouTube for his videos going against Flat Earth. He went up on Joe Rogan, remember? And he was going in on Flat Earth. Let me see here. So what my theory is that because Flat Earth is very popular on TikTok, and this is a fact, Flat Earth is like having a resurgence on TikTok. It's very popular. This will explain why on TikTok, Billy Carson is a flat earther, but on YouTube, he's a globe earther that's dissing the hell out of flat earth. But you know what we can learn from all of this is the people don't care. The people don't care, man. They don't care if you're genuine about the message. It's about popularity and money. You know what I'm saying? That needs to be pointed out. Because if you're now teaching that there's a firmament dome, then you should go back to the people you ridicule and say, you know what? I apologize to y'all. I ridicule y'all. I went on a big old platform and talked bad about y'all. Now keep in mind, when the flat earth thing first came about, people were reaching out to Billy Carson like a comrade, like, hey, we all black people. We all want to work together and try to, you know what I'm saying, question a lot of the lies they've been telling us. You know what I'm saying? But Billy Carson just straight up was an agent of division. And he led his people against anybody that said anything about ancient cosmology. And he really went in on it, and he did it on very big platforms like Joe Rogan. So now that he's teaching the very thing he went in on, I think it ought to be pointed out. You know what I'm saying? That has to be pointed out. Because it shows you what kind of person we dealing with. At least you should go back to that group and say, you know what, I was wrong, man. You guys were right. I did y'all wrong on Joe Rogan and all that, but now I see what y'all were saying. I figured it out. My bad. That's called integrity. So if you ain't doing that, a person gotta question your motives and stuff. And then my theory on his motives is Billy Carson ain't really who he say he is. You got a lot of people that know how to look like teachers versus actually teaching you something. So I'm gonna show you how we can tell Billy Carson don't really research the stuff he talk about. He just learned how to articulate it as if he did. You can tell when a person is doing that when they contradict themselves a lot like this. That means you ain't researching to collect truths and facts. You're researching to collect views and stats. You see what I'm saying? Because truth is consistent. Now watch this right here. Billy Carson said he was abducted by aliens. And he went on big platforms. Once again, they keep promoting this guy on these big platforms. I don't get it. But people like to hear alien stories, abductee stories, and fairy tales, and they like to be lied to, you know what I'm saying? So Billy Carson tells the whole world aliens from another planet came to the earth, and out of all people, guess who they wanted to visit, y'all? I mean, they flew light years across the galaxy. Of course, you know they got to meet Billy Carson, man. Come on now. So people who tell you all these stories, it's a level of narcissism that is on steroids. Because think about it. What do all of the alien abductees got in common? Umar Johnson, the other guy who I debated in the flat earth debate, Billy Carson. All these alien abductees are guys who are very narcissistic. Because you gotta be to say that, man, the aliens visited me, but they ain't visit y'all. That's like Jesus visited me, but not you, right? The super. So my thing is this though with Billy Carson, how you contradict yourself to a level that's just, I don't understand how you still have a career after it. Because check out this contradiction. Aliens visited you from another world, but now you're teaching that we're enclosed inside of a firmament dome, and everybody know when you teach the firmament dome, you can't also teach alien abduction. So what you will see is that people who subscribe to the firmament dome deny aliens. It's almost one of those things where you have to pick one because you can't have them both. If you say that there's a firmament dome covering the earth like what the Bible said, can't nothing get in this earth and can't nothing get out of here unless through death. That's even in the Bible. So watch this now. Now that Billy Carson teaching there's a firmament dome, is he gonna come out and tell the world I was lying my ass off about aliens? Because ain't no way aliens could have got into the earth if there's a barrier there, right? Enclosing us. and nothing can get in, nothing can get out. Think about that. So this is how you debunk yourself. Now, I'm not debunking Billy Carson. He doing it to himself. How is he doing it? He want to participate in everyone's conversation. So it don't matter what your community is, Billy Carson want to infiltrate your community and extract the popularity out of it. And that's what he's doing in the case of Flat Earth on TikTok. He see these channels growing. Now he won't part in a narrative that he once denied. He now wants part in a narrative that he once mocked. See, it ain't that he's been researching this stuff and he genuinely want to teach you something, you know. So that gotta be pointed out, man. The real versus the fake. That you're an alien abductee teaching the firmament dome. That is wow. Where the aliens come from? Because according to y'all, from outer space. The firmament dome debunks outer space. It says that all of the stars are fit star. The darkness that we see at night, y'all, behind the stars, that's what the Egyptians personified as the goddess Nut. The reason her name is Nut, it was their version of the word night. Night. Nut and night are the same word. She was the personification of darkness, the stars, the heavens. So, you know, the whole you trying to make Nut a Milky Way is crazy, because that's like trying to make a basketball a CD disc. But you got to do these kind of things when you participate in the kind of fishy stuff that he doing. So what do y'all think about this, man? Billy Carson is now teaching about the firmament dome. It debunks everything he ever said as far as aliens, his abduction stories. Billy Carson now teaching about the firmament dome means, in my opinion, he owe flat earthers an apology. He owe all of the people who was teaching about the firmament dome an apology. Right? But what do y'all think? Salutes to the people in the chat room. Shout out to Red Wine Entertainment for being promoted to Illuminated Initiate. Shout out to D-Dub Exclusive. He says, so a guy that's associated with NASA, right? Come on now. Coming out talking about the dome, isn't that a win for us? Unless you're saying he trying to corrupt us. Watch this. I'm going to show you why it ain't a win. It's called muddy in the waters, right? So Billy Carson talking about the firmament dome actually discredits it, because what you got to realize is globe earthers don't respect Billy Carson. What's weird about Billy Carson, he got a contract with NASA, but all of the theologians, scientists, and all of them, they look down at him. We learned that with Wes Huff, right? With the Wes Huff situation. Billy Carson isn't respected by a lot of the elite people in the community, only from the fans and subscribers who gullible enough to fall for conscious coded content. If that make any sense, like it ain't real consciousness, it's conscious coded. You know, Billy Carson, this contradiction right here is like, so it is really damning for real though, you know, because you would really have to now explain how the aliens got in. Y'all think he gonna give that debate? Who else y'all want to see a debate against? I think we need the Billy Carson debate. It's past due. We can do it on anybody platform. We'll have us a moderator for sure. But whatever format he want, you know. Make sure y'all hit that like button. When it come to this electromagnetism conversation, I'm willing to debate him on the firmament. See, people keep playing videos also about these rockets that's supposed to be hitting the firmament. But guess what, though? These rockets ain't going high enough, people. You know how high the stars is? It's embarrassing, y'all. I'm gonna tell you, it's very embarrassing. Because if you're gonna be a flat earther, take some time out of your day sometime, right? And go research. This stuff is out there. Like, I shouldn't be the only one being like with the expert at this stuff, because all of these ancestral cosmological systems, you can research them and see what these people said about the earth. Now, it's common sense. If the firmament dome has to fit stars in it, you can't launch a rocket from the ground and wait 5 minutes and go to the stars, people. In 5 minutes, I can get to Walmart right now. I can be down the street at the store. What can you do in 5 minutes? I'm going to tell you what you can't do. Make it to the stars in 5 minutes. See, common sense. But I'm going to tell y'all, somebody said common sense ain't common. And that's the scary ass truth, man. That's so frightening. But it's true, though. Because think about that. You got millions of people playing these videos saying a rocket just crashed into the firmament. And I'm like, bro, do y'all research or do y'all just internet? Do you just TikTok and then regurgitate? That's what the average person does, man. And then what becomes truth is just what's popular. That don't mean it's necessarily true. It's just popular. Once enough people agree to it on social media, you can't say it's wrong. So if you like, I've always been the only flat earther to say, man, ain't no rocket crashed into no firmament. But all of the flat earthers that say it did, those videos go viral because the algorithm pushes the incorrect information. It's not gonna push the thing that debunks it. So think about this now. If y'all think that the Egyptians thought that you can launch a rocket off the ground and make it to the goddess Nut in 5 minutes, you gotta be goddamn tripping, man. Like, what are you on? That debunks the whole flat earth model. People gonna laugh at us. They gonna say, wait a minute, y'all sky that damn close to the ground? People gonna look at this flat earth shit, they gonna laugh at it. They gonna say, damn, so the flat earthers think they can get to the stars in 5 minutes. But y'all think that this is a win? This is hurting the flat earth already. Like, it's been hurting the flat earth. The whole concept of the rocket hitting the firmament dome is a psyop that the algorithm pushing. Because anybody that want to debunk flat earth, I just gave them the dagger. That's an easy dagger, though. Like, we got to quit falling for these algorithm-driven auguring points for the firmament dome and for flat earth and stick to our own research personally. Because I'm telling you right now, that's an easy W for the globe earth when you talk about, listen, I can prove the firmament. Watch this video with the rocket hitting the dome. You're done. It's over with. It's over with, bro. You're saying that the flat earth is so small. If it takes you 5 minutes to get to Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and all that, how small are you squashing your dome? You're making it very damn tiny. people don't see that is an accident and a hit piece waiting to happen. That's a hit piece waiting to happen when somebody go bring up this rocket hitting the dome stuff. When somebody debunk that on a big platform, it's going to be a huge dagger against Flat Earth, which is why I never made that dumb argument.
How do you feel about the firmament as well? Have you ever heard of that before? Like the dome supposedly covering?
Yeah, that's actually a misnomer. If you look into the ancient Egyptian temples, you have Nut, and Nut bends over backwards, creating this swath of stars in the sky. That is the Milky Way galaxy. And Nut is demonstrating the Milky Way, this is why her body is covered in stars all the way across.
Mm-hmm.
There is no culture, and I would
listen, y'all. Billy about to make $1 million bet or 100,000. Watch this.
Actually put up $100,000.
He said he'll put up $100,000. I'm calling his bluff. Let's go.
Cash for anyone that can bring me evidence of this. I've gone through 1,000 texts, cylinder scrolls, scriptures. There's a couple of fabricated Photoshop documents showing ancient people saying that we lived in a dome. Those are all fakes. There is no text that exists.
Y'all hear this, man? He going in on the firmament dome. Damn.
On this planet that says that there was ever a dome. And
I'm going to show y'all how deceptive and dishonest of a person Billy Carson is. He just said, I'll pull up $100,000 if you can show me anywhere in the ancient world where they talked about a firmament dome. And now he's pulling up pictures of people in the ancient world teaching about a firmament dome and agreeing with it. Billy should just go deduct $100,000 from his own damn bank account right now, y'all. Let's play the video.
Waters from waters and the firmament text come from the Enuma Elish and the 7 tablets. And I would actually put up $100,000 cash for anyone that can bring me evidence of this. I've gone through 1,000 texts.
And what are the chances of you being the man to show up with the evidence, Billy? You can't make this shit up, man. Real talk.
We've all heard about the firmament theory. Well, if you haven't, stick around because there's footage. It's a theory that space is fake and no humans can actually leave the atmosphere. Now, this is scary. You've all heard about the firmament theory. Well, if you haven't, stick around because there's footage. It's a theory that space is fake and no humans can actually leave the atmosphere. In the clip I'm about to show, a plane actually hits the firmament and crashes. Watch the clip.
Now, don't you know that the video of the firmament of the rocket hitting the firmament dome, you know that that PSYOP video been going around for a decade, and Billy just now talking about it in 2025? Y'all gotta ask yourself why. It's easy for me to answer that to y'all. The rocket hitting the dome is a viral conversation on TikTok right now. Again, this is why Billy Carson ain't on YouTube teaching about the firmament dome. He's on YouTube debunking it. You know why? Guess what the algorithm pushing on YouTube? Anti-flat earth content. Go figure, y'all. Come on, this shit don't take. I'm a detective with this shit, but it don't even take no detective skills. It's common sense. The news media told y'all that YouTube was gonna start pushing anti-flat earth content above flat earth content. And guess what happened when YouTube did that? TikTok took the hell off. TikTok started killing YouTube because TikTok wasn't banning flat earth. And TikTok, YouTube saw that and was like, how the hell we gonna compete with TikTok? And guess what YouTube did? They came with YouTube Shorts. So if you on YouTube talking flat earth, you're struggling for views. Even if you getting a lot of views, times that time 5. That's how many you really supposed to be getting. And can't nobody say, man, ain't nobody picking on y'all, censoring y'all. Bro, these people admitted it on the news, on UN. any content that denies what they deem as science, they're gonna go against your constitutional right, nigga. They're gonna censor you. And everybody ain't gonna care about it. Why? Because no one like the flat earthers, but don't you like your constitutional right? If they can do it to us, they can eventually do it to anybody that they disagree with, that want to challenge them on something. So watch this, right? Billy went right with them and attacked flat earth. He's viral because he's like on a bunch of big platforms on YouTube going against it. And he was going against the Firmament Dome when it was popular to do so. So you got to ask, why is Billy Carson teaching about the Firmament Dome now, but he's only doing it on TikTok when that is an old conversation on YouTube, and Billy ain't talking about that on YouTube? There you go. Let's go. And this is very deceptive to show a boat crashing into a riverbank versus a rocket that's supposed to be crashing into the barrier that's housing the fixed stars. And if you know how far the fixed stars are from the ground, there's no way you can be at them in 5 minutes because that is an airplane takeoff. If you can get to the fixed stars in 5 minutes in a rocket, guess what, dude? How fast is that rocket going? Because they up pretty high, bro. The fixed stars are beyond the exosphere. We're talking there's 7 layers of the atmosphere. If that rocket went through all layers of the atmosphere in 5 minutes, bro, you know how thick a layer of the atmosphere is? So things we gotta scrutinize. Rem Jaguar, thanks for the donation. He said, Billy is right. Aliens are real. They're being deported by ICE right now. Oh, you so wrong for that, bro. That's fucking crazy. Yo, you crazy for that one, bro. That's crazy. That bro said aliens are real. ICE getting them up out of here. Damn. Hey, y'all, that's that man's message, not mine. Don't crucify me. But damn, that's funny, though. I can't lie.
You see the side-by-side comparison with the water on the left side of the screen. It's a model plane to show the difference. You notice how the splash of the model plane in the water is very, very similar to how the plane exploded when it touched what we assume is the firmament. It's like an imaginary barrier that you can't cross, like something more powerful rejecting humans.
So if we can't cross it, and this is true, like Billy telling the truth about the firmament, but he's telling it 10 years later. We was talking like this a decade ago. Billy, why you so late to the firmament party? And the thing is this right here. Billy is showing up to the firmament party talking like no one else know this shit when it's a decade old. Remember, this the information that the world censored 10 years ago. Well, I can't say the world, but the biggest platforms, especially YouTube, I know for a fact, but TikTok hasn't censored Flat Earth yet, which is why I need to start, moving myself over there slowly. But check this out, right? It's crazy because Flat Earth is doing real good on TikTok. And it used to be that way on YouTube before they hit the censorship button. But it's amazing that Billy's so hungry for that TikTok money, that popularity that come with certain topics, that he don't mind contradicting them. In other words, the man ain't got no damn dignity. He's at a level with this content thing where he's like just kind of like a content whore at this point, to where he don't even care if he's contradicting everything he's worked for. Because remember, Billy built his whole career off alien abduction stories. Now he's talking about there's a barrier surrounding the earth and nothing can get in, nothing can get out. You mean like them aliens you said abducted you?
I think it's interesting, but I also think it's you've all heard about the firmament theory. Now, this is scary. You've all heard about the firmament theory. Well, if you haven't, stick around because there's footage. It's a theory that space is fake and no humans can actually leave the atmosphere. In the clip I'm about to show, a plane actually hits the firmament and crashes. Watch the clip.
And that's what I'm tripping off. They didn't even send a rocket up. They sent a plane. So airplanes can make it to Venus and Mercury now, y'all. Yeah, let's hop in our airplane and go to the stars. How long is it gonna take to get there? 5 minutes. Come on, man, get in. 5 minutes. Which one you want to go to? Saturn? Yeah, 5 minutes, bro. Come on. In my airplane. This is the kind of stupidity that y'all entertain, but let's go. Hey, y'all know I'm being real nice, right? I said 5 minutes on some real shit. 1 minute. God damn, bro. Wait a minute. Y'all, I'm tripping. I've been saying 5 minutes, but I'm watching the video from the time that the rocket leave the ground to the time of it, from the time the rocket leave the ground to the time it crash is less than a minute. Now, the video ain't sped up its regular speed. We watching it with our own eyes. The rocket gonna leave the ground and crash into something in less than a minute. The dome is way higher than that, bro. You can't take an elevator up to the top of Burj Khalifa in a minute. And my mom's went to it, nigga. She said it was like a 2 minute and some, a 2 minute ride, if I ain't mistaken. But this is crazy. This man can make it to Saturn quicker than you can make it to the top of a skyscraper. Look at there. Look at there now. Y'all see what I'm saying? In the day of CGI, fake footage, AI, deep faking, you can't go with all this stuff that you see right here. Also, footage like this, it just debunks the ancestors. It makes the stars so close to the ground that it just makes the flat earth model a mockery, man, if you ask me. But let's play the other one.
How do you feel about the firmament as well? Have you ever heard of that before? Like the dome supposedly covering?
Yeah, that's actually a misnomer. If you look into the ancient Egyptian temples, you have Nut, and Nut bends over backwards, creating this swath of stars in the sky. That is the Milky Way galaxy. And Nut is demonstrating the Milky Way, this is why her body is covered in stars all the way across. Mm-hmm. There is no culture, and I would actually put up $100,000 cash for anyone that can bring me evidence of this. I've gone through 1,000 texts, cylinder scrolls, scriptures. There's a couple of fabricated Photoshop documents showing ancient people saying that we lived in a dome. Those are all fakes. There is no text.
So wait a minute. Billy Carson just said that all of the pictures of ancient people saying we live in a dome are fake. But yet he using them same pictures to tell the world is real. So Billy Carson just say what he want to say when he want to say it, and he don't really research because he's saying it to push his agenda. See, when Billy Carson was talking like this, he was going around getting interviewed about his alien abduction. And people talking about the Firmament Dome was kind of stepping on his shoes on that. This was when Billy Carson was making his rounds, becoming popular for his alien abduction story. And this was the same time that the Firmament Dome conversation was popular on YouTube. And all of the conspiracy theorists who believe in aliens was denying the Firmament Dome because of a belief, when the Firmament Dome is a fact. It's a fact. But if you believe in aliens, your alien little belief get crushed. And humans shouldn't be attached to beliefs. We should be attached to truth and facts. But see, that's why I can get rid of a belief like a piece of toilet paper. I can believe something today and say, oh, that was wrong, and go and move on tomorrow once I find the facts or not to it. You don't conclude on belief. And that's how Billy got y'all. You emotionally attached to your beliefs. You should be emotionally attached to proving or disproving your beliefs, not the belief itself. Now, guess what? Billy Carson believed in aliens, but he only believed in them because it was lucrative at that time. He didn't really believe in aliens. You know how many pastors teaching the Bible, but they don't really believe in it? It's lucrative. So people do this all the time, and to the people who really believe in it, that's a shame. Now, Billy Carson was going against the Firmament Dome when he was pushing his alien testimony, crying on people's videos about these aliens that took him against his will. But all of these alien abductees got some in common. If you ask them, do you regret it? Do you wish that it never happened? Oh, no, they don't regret it, because in some kind of weird way, it made them a better person that E.T. probed them. You see what I'm saying? So why they won't take it back is because it makes them get some kind of special status above all of us. The aliens came and talked to me, not y'all, and everybody want to hear my story. So these fake little stories, you know, back in the day, white folks would be the only alien abductees and no black folks would believe the shit. But stuff has changed today. Stuff, when I was young, you didn't have no black people talking about I was abducted by no damn, that was white folk stuff, crazy white folk stuff. And guess what? No one believed them. Now you got these black folks saying they was abducted, and guess what? We believe them now. So what they know psychologically, if you chocolate coat shit, we'll accept it.
That exists on this planet that says that.
One more thing I don't get either about Billy Carson's fans, right? When Billy Carson was dissing the Firmament Dome, all of his fans and subscribers was dissing the Firmament Dome, saying, yeah, that's stupid. Nobody talked about that. You can't find that nowhere. Now that Billy Carson is teaching about the Firmament Dome, all of his subscribers is acting like they've always been teaching. Yeah, man, this shows the Firmament Dome. Look at the goddess nut. When I can show you this video of Billy Carson saying that the goddess nut is not no flat earth stuff, he going in on it. You know? So it let me know that the people don't care about truth either. They just they fans of a person. Like, even if a person may be a fan of mine and I contradict myself and you just move on like I didn't, that says a lot, man, about where we going as humanity. You know, you mean to tell me ain't none of Billy's subscribers or followers gonna say to him, bro, you was dissing the flat earth, now you teaching about a firmament. You made $100,000 bet. And ain't no way you can backtrack on this, bro. Because the man was saying that all of the ancient depictions of a dome are fake. And he using them same depictions today, y'all. At this level of hypocrisy, you can't excuse it. You can't defend it.
How do you feel about the firmament as well? Have you ever heard of that before? Like the
Yeah,
dome
the
supposedly covering?
Yeah, that's actually a misnomer. If you look into the ancient Egyptian temples, you have Nut, and Nut bends over backwards, creating this
I'm familiar with
swath of
that.
stars in the sky. That is the Milky Way galaxy. And Nut is demonstrating the Milky Way, this is why her body is covered in stars all the way across.
Mm-hmm.
There is no culture, and I would actually put up $100,000 cash for anyone that can bring me evidence of this. I've gone through 1,000 texts, cylinder scrolls, scriptures. There's a couple of fabricated Photoshop documents showing ancient people saying that we lived in a dome. Those are all fakes. There is no text that exists on this planet that says that there was ever a dome. The waters from waters and the firmament text come from the Enuma Elish and the 7 tablets of creation.
See how this man just makes shit up and everybody goes along with it. And then he can just go right against everything he said today, tomorrow, and people will act like that he never contradicted himself. This the kind of stuff make you lose hope with the world, y'all. Because when the Bible talks about idolatry, that's what it's talking about. When the Bible say prove all things, it mean don't you listen to no damn body hook, line, and sinker without questioning what the hell they saying and putting the proof to it. But see, y'all throw that out the door. You gotta think why I talk like this. Your mind is beautiful, man. It's a fucking terrible thing to waste. As a human, you got the ability to critical think. Why would you swap that out for believing or faith what a nigga said? Because a nigga said, believe me, bro. Have faith in what I said. Believe my alien story. Why would there even be systems of belief versus systems of finding the truth in this world? And you want to know why it's a world of lies. So check this out, right? The thing about world where everyone believers, you forgot how to prove shit, the process of critical thinking. That's a human gift. We're literally losing our minds. I'm telling you, because you ain't using your shit, so you're losing your shit. And if it's just like it's like you don't use it, you lose it if you don't use it. So Wisdom and Key, welcome to the panel. I'm gonna play the rest of this video. I'm gonna let y'all get it in, man, one at a time. I don't know the order, but yeah, salutes to both of y'all brothers, man, and welcome to the bill.
Yo, peace,
It's crazy.
Sanchez.
Peace and
Salute,
love.
salute. Peace and power, bro.
Peace and power, man. This is crazy. So I'll play the video for y'all then.
And somebody took that out of context to form it into their own ideology about a dome over the planet. It's really talking about a celestial dance that happened millions of years ago when another planet named Tiamat that was orbiting our sun, at that time.
See how this man just making up shit? Wow, this is crazy.
It was the
It's
fourth, the third planet. You had Mercury, Venus, and you had Tiamat. Earth didn't even exist yet.
Y'all see that? Billy just said people making up their own stuff with the firmament dome, even though there are pictures all around the world of ancient people saying we live under a firmament dome. Now, he accused us of making up our own shit, and he went right into making up his own shit about Tiamat and some planet and all this damn story. Y'all see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, he all over the place, man. And you know, he kind of like on some destiny swap type ish right now, you know, to where he want to go against the flat earth. And then once all the people who are teaching flat earth or discredited, he want to come back with the same thing that he was against at first, man. And he double talking and just making up shit, man. They got Billy glitching, man. They hit his 33rd vertebrae. That boy glitching now, man.
Nah,
Through this particular epic, and also it's an Atrahasis epic
he ain't glitching, he griffing.
as well. These are all 8,000 year old texts. There was a collision of a moon with Tiamat, which caused.
And how did he know that? Because I was there. Millions of years ago, I was hovering in the darkness, and there was a planet right there that wasn't there at first. Because how else would Billy know that? He would have to say, don't you know how many people have told this story? So that makes it true now, huh? This is called fucking storytelling. But guess what? The firmament dome ain't storytelling. There is a barrier. If our atmosphere is gas, full of gas, right? You can't have gas sticking to a ball in the middle of space, which is a vacuum, while going at speeds 100 times of a bullet, which is what the earth would be doing right now. And our atmosphere is still sticking to the earth, even though they tell you when you look at a comet that the tail on a comet is its atmosphere being stripped away from it because it's moving through space. So why wouldn't that be true to the earth? Let me guess. Gravity is right there pulling the cloud, saying don't you go nowhere. So that's this mysterious force just constantly pulling, keeping our atmosphere stuck there while the earth go through these speeds. And you believe that. So they came up with gravity because a white dude named Isaac Newton was sitting under a tree and an apple fell on his damn shoulder. And you don't think people knew why shit dropped before him? So that's what I'm saying about Billy, right? Billy went along with the globe earth narrative, and he went along with it die-heartedly. He went along with space Tiamat, all of the black conscious community globe earth jargon that they've been regurgitating ever since the neo-pagan movement started in the 70s. When we was exposed to space as a people, and you had stuff like Planet Rock, all of your first artists was into space symbolism. So there's a history of the globe earth, y'all. But see, our true ancestors didn't have a NASA. So the way that they talked about the earth and the universe was different. What we think about the world is based upon the oppressor, the same one that gave us the Bible. The people that wrote the Bible were flat earthers, and Billy knew that then, and he know it now. Like you said, one thing I'm always point out to y'all, if you live on a three-dimensional sphere, it says in the Bible, when God come back, every eye gonna see him. People are interpreting that literally. It don't matter if you believe that's gonna happen or not. What I would say, if you want to prove the people who wrote the Bible, guess what they were saying? The earth had to be flat for that to happen. Because God show up on one side of the globe, now the people on the other side can't see him. Depending on which angle God coming to the globe earth to from space, every eye ain't gonna see him. But if the earth flat, and God over a flat earth with everybody looking up, see what people don't realize, up was heaven, down was hell. So heaven and hell is like ancient people saying up and down. And the thing about it is, up and down, heaven and hell were universal concepts. What do I mean? That meant that no matter where you was on the earth, up was up and down was down to you. On a globe earth, it ain't like that. Everybody don't share the same up and down on a globe earth. So everything that the ancients was teaching was based upon them understanding a flat earth enclosed in a dome. Billy Carson is late for a party that he should have been the first one to, because he's professing to be an expert at ancient matters. And he's very popular. So this what y'all gotta realize: the people in power ain't gonna let the truth get popular. And this, your boy has been controlled opposition for the truth for a long time.
Tiamat to basically break up into huge chunks. And then one of those chunks.
If you think I'm bullshitting, watch this, right? Everybody's censoring flat earth. But when certain people talk flat earth, they don't get censored. For example, right on YouTube, if you are a legitimate grassroots, real flat earth content creator, you get censored. But if you are a globe earther, you can make as much flat earth content you want and not get censored. Now, YouTube said they don't want us talking about flat earth like that, or they don't want to push that, right? Then why do you push it from our enemies? If you don't want the conversation on your platform, you wouldn't push it from neither side, because you don't want it being talked about on your platform. But the truth is, this is an attempt from the government, the powers that be, to control a narrative without violating our constitutional rights. Because we got the right to tell the truth, but you ain't got the right to not be censored for it. You see, freedom of speech ain't free at all. And if you want your message out, it's going to cost you. Shout out to Dan Tanner. Said, peace, bro. What's funny is that I stay on the 17th floor with the view of downtown Chicago and Lake Michigan. And the lake is angling upward. If the earth was round, that would be impossible. Big facts. People, what I'm telling you is we are a community of critical thinkers. Something that's so rare in today's world. I'm going to give you another one, right? They teach you that the Nile River flows opposite of every river on earth, but they teach you that the flow of every river on earth is based upon gravity. I would ask, why is gravity letting the Nile River do something different than what the other ones do? The Nile River debunks gravity. So they telling you that the Nile River flow the opposite way of every other river on earth, and that the pull of gravity is making all the currents of the ocean, which is connected to your rivers and all that, go in the patterns that all the rivers go. They even base the Coriolis effect on that. But when you factor in the Nile River, now we scratching our head. What is gravity doing in Africa at the Nile? Gravity taking a day off. Matter of fact, gravity taking off period, because the Nile have always flowed that way according to them. So, you know, gravity ain't consistent. Gravity is like, think of a pizza delivery company. In certain areas, they just don't show up. You know, gravity ain't consistent with it's supposed to show up everywhere. Just don't show up at the Nile. I think gravity's scared of crocodiles or alligators. What y'all think? Gravity may be scared of alligators. And gravity don't fuck around at the Nile River. Let's pass the mic to shout out to T. Riggles and to my brother Retton, Awakening T. Riggles, Wisdom Thought. Shout out to y'all, man. Welcome to the call. I'm going to leave the floor open. See if any of y'all brothers want the floor.
Yo, bro, Sanchez, peace. You know what's funny about this? Because when I used to watch the Ancient Aliens, and that's the first time I was introduced to Billy Carson, like the young Billy Carson, he would never bring up Nut and Gab, but it's the irony, because I feel like he's watching your videos, bro. He trying to play his own manifest destiny, bro. It's just hilarious because he never broke down that, but he always was involved in ancient Egypt, but he never broke that down, though.
You know what's crazy? All of the people that claim to be Egypt experts, they stay away from Nut and Gab. And when they do speak on Nut and Gab, they just say, oh, that's the Milky Way, that's the solar system, and they keep that shit moving.
He playing a dangerous game.
Yeah, they can, but this how you know they full of crap, right? When you look at Nut and Gab, you know that they got the 7 wandering stars inside of the firmament dome, not outside of it. Now listen, the globalists teach that the planets are in space. Mars, Jupiter, Venus, all that is in space. But if you look at ancient cosmology, you see Venus, Mercury, and all that inside of the dome. This is how they lose, y'all. When they try to say, well, Nut represent the solar system, you gotta say, well, in all of these ancient cosmologies, the whole solar system is inside of Nut, not outside of her. And in all of the ancient cosmologies, the great mother got the solar system or the universe in her belly, like she's pregnant. This is ancient cosmology. You see what I'm saying? So they even call her the cosmic egg. And like I tell them, life is inside of an egg, not on the surface of it. Right or wrong. So they refer to the universe as the cosmic egg. They personified it as the goddess Nut and a lot of more dome-like, archetypes. But everything as far as earthly life was inside of the goddess, like a pregnant mother. Just like with Nut, even all of the planets is inside of her. And they can't get around that, because for them to make their argument, they need them planets outside of Nut in space, right?
Big facts. Salutes to the panel, man. I can't believe what I'm hearing, bro. I can't believe this nigga Billy Carson just said the firmament. He even brought up Nut and, just Nut. Now he's going to have to deal with the net. I can't believe this shit. Billy got to be cloned. Something got it.
No, let me tell you what it is. I'm telling you that's the TikTok Billy. Because, people be different people on different social platforms now.
I heard you earlier too, bro. Explaining the
real
YouTube
talk.
to the TikTok. I definitely get that point, but I
that's
just
the TikTok Billy.
Billy, we gotta call him TikTok Billy.
So that's the Chinese. So that's the Chinese Billy.
On TikTok, I'm a flat earther, but on YouTube, I got abducted by aliens. Where them aliens came from now, Billy?
God damn, man.
I can't believe this shit, bro. I'm glad you went live on this.
That's the Billy Carson made in China.
Oh shit.
Yes, sir. Everybody adapting to the truth. And peace and power to you, bro, and the panel.
Sure. Niggas just adapt. Let me tell you what they doing. People are adapting to the algorithm on their social media platform, not the truth, bro.
Yeah, because you can't, it's gonna set you free regardless. You gonna have to gravitate towards it, but don't forget who's already here. That's my point. Just forget who's I'm using gravity for a reason. No, listen, check it. Hey, I'm using gravity for a reason because they're in denial, right? Where gravity is in denial. But check it. Have you heard Neil deGrasse Tyson, right, have a discussion with this Caucasian white astrophysicist about how gravity is becoming obsolete? We don't even need to use that terminology.
I got a video coming. I got a video coming up about that. Yeah, I ain't saw it yet though, but I'm gonna.
It's hidden. It's hidden behind the algorithm. But if you look hard enough, it's like a 5-minute clip, and then he's literally trying to fight against it the whole time. But it's like, well, we scientists have to go with the modern consensus. So statistics and probability. So he just has to go with it. Whatever they find, but it always leads back to what we were already on though, which is kind of crazy. And the firmament, the cosmic egg, is one of the oldest.
Neil deGrasse Tyson came out and said, scientists are starting to think that our entire universe is inside of a black spherical, I can show it to you, inside of a black, it looked just like the flat earth model, looked just like the Hebrew. I've been saying 10 years ago, they're going to slowly start adopting the flat earth model and incorporating it over time. You're going to look up, they just going to be teaching flat earth, but they going to still have the fears and tactics that they had surrounding the globe, like global warming stuff, like the space scares, alien stuff, UFO, UAP. Yeah.
And you can never reach the true freedom outside of this. It's gonna always be an obstacle in the way. With our government, it's gonna always be an obstacle we can never reach. That hot dog on the treadmill we keep running after. That shiny object.
That's the COINTELPRO technique, though. Salutes, me myself. That's the COINTELPRO.
One more thing. They all starting to say our whole universe is in a black hole, and because of that, they're gonna have to slowly get rid of gravity the more they transition into that theory. And I'll tell y'all why later. But go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's the COINTELPRO technique. That way they can insert to make it match with, you know, whatever they new religious adventure is gonna be. Cause you know they went from the Christianity to the science, and now they kind of trying to merge the science with their version of flat earth. So to get the grassroots people out the way who gonna teach what the ancients and the ancestors say, so they can be able to be controlled opposition, like bro was pointing out. The nigga basically just was sitting at the desk like a teacher, bent down to tie a shoe, got back up with some glasses on, and said he was the substitute teacher for the day and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Facts though, and
Hey, check
hey,
this out,
facts,
man.
and let me give a shout out to the sister Sarada. Appreciate your support and love as always. And she said, excuse me, let me read it real quick. I'll be quick. It says, to our beloved bro Sanchez, we know one thing. We always been here. Malcolm X said the fact. Salutes to you, big bro Sanchez, from one of your day ones. Appreciate the love, yo, Sarada. Appreciate that, sis. Let me drop a bomb. Yo.
Salutes to the sister,
man.
for real. Bro, you know, the other day I seen the video with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He talking about how all the days of the week were named after the planets. But these the same people who are saying that the ancestors didn't have technology to view the planets. You see what I'm saying?
But here go the dagger. Here go the dagger.
Go ahead.
They said all the days of the week are named after the planets, right? Now, flat earthers be telling them Earth ain't a planet, and that's why ain't no day of the week called Earth Day. See the dagger?
Hell yeah, bro. The point I was trying to make, though, like I definitely get that, you know, hell yeah. But the fact that they were saying that the ancestors didn't have the technology. This is what they've been saying forever. We didn't have the technology.
But you know what they said? They said Galileo had telescopes to basically do everything to make all the predictions and name the days of the weeks right. They didn't say they didn't have the technology because the Greeks are the ones named the planets. And they said that the Greeks had little bit. Here's the thing well, I'm glad you brought it up. They didn't say they didn't have the technology. It's just that the technology they had, if you research it, it'll be like you looking through a Coca-Cola bottle trying to see what the stars are.
Right. And I just couldn't believe when I heard that shit. I'm like, nigga, the whole time you contradicting what y'all go through, though. You know what y'all say, but I definitely get what you say.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson ain't smart because he should know what I just said about the Greeks. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, man. The fact that they saying ain't no more gravity, y'all know I got a show coming up to do that, man, about Neil deGrasse Tyson. Gravity is becoming obsolete because they're speaking about gravity like it's a fucking clothing trend. Man, skinny jeans becoming obsolete. If gravity is a truth about our reality, how does it ever become obsolete? Right? It's crazy, man.
Told you, it's all categories. Human beings, no matter what it is, like even it, like we call air right now, right? But what was it called 1,000, 2,000 years ago? Regardless of what it was called or how we categorize it, we were still breathing it in and exhaling it. So I just know that science is going to continue that trend. But yeah,
but if there's no gravity, there's no globe. It's a reason why they're saying the Earth.
They're gonna find another name for it. That's my point. Watch. They're gonna switch it up. Watch.
But this video just show right here, like
text come.
It show you like when Billy was disagreeing with the firmament, how much vitriol and hate and just how many lies he told about the ancestors and how many lies he was telling about flat earthers. Just listen to this thing and just think when you listening to this video, this same dude is now teaching about the firmament today. and that there's a first of all, let me play that one first. Maybe that'll be better. Let's play this one first, then go to that
Now,
one.
this is scary. You've all heard about the firmament theory. Well, if you haven't, stick around because there's footage. It's a theory that space is fake and no humans can actually leave the atmosphere. In the clip I'm about to show, a plane actually hits the firmament and crashes. Watch the clip.
So we can fast forward to him talking again.
You see the side-by-side comparison with the water on the left side of the screen. It's a model plane to show the difference. You notice how the splash of the model plane in the water is very, very similar to how the plane exploded when it touched what we assume is the firmament. It's like an imaginary barrier that you can't cross, like something more powerful rejecting humans. I think.
So watch this, right? It's just amazing to see this video. Now let's play this other one.
How do you feel about the firmament as well? Have you ever heard of that before? Like the dome supposedly covering?
Yeah, that's actually a misnomer. If you look into the ancient Egyptian temples, you have Nut, and Nut bends over backwards, creating this
I'm familiar
swath
with
of
that.
stars in the sky. That is the Milky Way galaxy. And Nut is demonstrating the Milky Way, which this is why her body is covered in stars all the way across.
Mm-hmm.
There is no culture, and I would actually put up $100,000 cash for anyone that can bring me evidence of this. I've gone through 1,000 texts, children's scrolls, scriptures.
That money goes.
There's a couple of fabricated
He
Photoshop
won his own
documents
money
showing
from himself.
ancient people saying that
He's saying that there's a bunch of Photoshop documents of ancient people saying there was a dome, but ain't none of it true. When you can go to these places and look at the glyphs yourself. But check this out, right? He's now using the same Photoshop images to prove a firmament dome. He now using a airplane crashing into a firmament dome as proof to prove those same so-called Photoshop images, right? So this is crazy.
for anyone that can bring me evidence of this, I've gone through 1,000 texts, cylinder scrolls, scriptures. There's a couple of fabricated Photoshop documents showing ancient people saying that we lived in a dome. Those are all fakes. There is no text that exists on this planet that says that there was ever a dome. The waters from waters and the firmament text come from the Enuma Elish and the 7 tablets of creation. And somebody took that out of context to form it into their own ideology about a dome over the planet.
And the 7 tablets.
That's what he doing though.
Right.
That's what he doing with the pictures.
I just pointed all that out. Like he's taking it out of context. He doing exact right. But the whole thing about the 7 tablets is it was the 7 tables, the 7 natures, the 7 heavens, right? That's why there's always 7 of them, like the 7 chakras, 7 wandering stars. You know, the 7 planets that they say today. But
Right,
that's the
bro.
thing about Billy Carson. Like when he brought this up, he knew the truth about the firmament dome. But they wasn't ready to roll it out yet. They want to. It's about them controlling the narrative, and them telling you it is a Freemasonic agenda. See, the whole thing is this right here. The Masons teach the flat Earth in the lodges. I showed y'all the damn Masonic flat Earth model. We can pull it up. Masons have joined with their little books and all that, backing up what the hell we saying. But if you don't think Neil deGrasse Tyson, Billy Carson, all these popular niggas that's at the top of the narrative are controlled and put there, you tripping. You're naive about the way the world work. The people in power give you freedom of speech, then they control the narratives in society. So it defeats the point. So, but let me go ahead and they control the opposition. So you will hear, like I said, you know that's true because the flat earth is still a popular topic. It's just not popular through real flat earthers. Everybody talking about it, but the people who are the flat earthers, you know what I'm saying? when they talk about it, they get silenced and censored. But if anyone, just think of this, right? What if every time a Christian spoke about Christ, they was silenced, but everyone else of any other religion that opposed Christianity can speak about Christ, teach about Christ and all that? That'll be crazy, wouldn't it? That's what it mean to be a flat earther, though.
Big facts, and both are actual reality on flat Earth end and on Christianity end. We was just discussing that the other end on the other day. The truth versus what's the programming which they put on the idiot box to control the minds is different.
What you mean by that? Both of them are reality.
Because the reality of the situation is what they're teaching you about something you can read for yourself and gain understanding in is different than what they promote in the media. Just like about space versus what you can read about how the ancestors felt about space. Same paradigm.
I don't know, but all I want to say is that bro been saying this shit for decades now, who Billy Carson is. And for us to hear this nigga talk about the firmament today is fucking ridiculous.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? That's the point I want to keep, reiterating. Like,
so hold on. So is he saying, I didn't mean to cut your wisdom, but is he saying the firmament real? Or he's saying it's not real.
He's saying it's real.
He's saying it's real, Redden. Not only is he saying it's real, Redden, he got depictions. He got as above, so below.
Right.
Redden.
The thing about the nigga, he ain't just saying the firmament real. He's showing up with an outdated video that's been on flat Earth for over a decade, talking about the rocket hit the dome. So you just know like it's real.
Just like the little boat in the water hit the Redden. He go, I can't believe this shit, bro.
You know what he doing? You know,
and I've had a conversation with Billy Carson.
You watching Bro Sanchez videos?
Bro, that's right.
Nah, he can't listen.
But now he talking about
if he watching them, then he responding with anti Bro Sanchez shit because he ain't biting what I'm saying. Because I said that the video of the rocket hitting the dome was bull crap. He promoting that like
3
true.
minutes.
See, let me tell y'all something that's important. This important to know about Billy Carson. Him and people like Jared and all them, they're part of like the people who do hit pieces. They ain't just gonna keep nitpicking at flat Earth. They the type people that will plan and plot in a way to give you a big fatal blow. They do big hit pieces every now and then, not little bitty fights all the time. So what I'm telling you with Billy, he's promoting a hit piece. What is the hit piece? The hit piece is if a flat earther is teaching that the rocket hit the dome, that's embarrassing if you get into a scientific debate, y'all. And once they get Billy to put that at the forefront of the flat earth narrative, they ain't got to do that now, but now get it on another debate platform, some sort of big hit piece platform where we can talk about it. And guess what, right? Once somebody say, bro, you do know how far away Jupiter, Saturn is, right? See, because even if you ain't a flat earther, you can be a globalist. The flat earth and the globe earth teach that to get to the stars is quite a feat. Ain't nobody saying it's easy. You know what I'm saying? We just saying that it ain't all in space like what NASA's saying. But ain't no flat earther saying that the dome is so close to the ground that you can get in an airplane. Mind you, y'all, an airplane, not a rocket. You can get in an airplane and you can be at the stars in less than 1 minute. Once you say that in a debate, the whole world gonna look at you like you're absurd. And guess what? They're gonna double down on it by saying, so you telling me we can make it to the stars in a minute? And guess what the flat earther gonna have to say? Yep, and the whole world gonna face palm.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Bro, he just not trying to admit that the ancestors was right. He using every other evidence besides that. You see how he brought up Nut and Gab, but he's denying it. He's trying to make his own. He's manifest destiny. That's what it is. It's the same thing with the Bible.
This is a hit piece waiting to happen. I know what I'm talking about, y'all. I've been around doing this a long time. Billy has a lot of momentum with controlling a large sector of the country's community. When they came out with the rocket video, it didn't have the impact they wanted it to have because me and a lot of other flat earthers, even though we weren't getting pushed like that, we were denying the validity of it. Now the videos that were eating up the rocket video, they were fucking going viral. Think about this, right? When the final experiment happened, the flat earthers that was pushing a 24-hour sun saying that the final experiment is real and I'm changing my mind, they went viral. They became popular at that time, right? If you wanted to be popular during that time, you had to get on the 24-hour sun bandwagon because everybody else was getting pushed down, right? Because of this hit piece. The whole thing about Billy, right? He's the next hit piece in the form of one of the other big arguments that the globalists had for flat earth is how high up is the firmament dome? One question I get from them all the time, they say, listen, are we in a dome? And they ask a flat earther, how high up is it? Flat earthers always was taught to say, we can't really tell you how high up the dome is. If we give them a number, they just gonna debunk you. And we can't give them a number. You gotta be honest. You don't know where the firmament start at. So guess what the globalists did? They put a video out there that went viral of a rocket so-called crashing into the dome, and they gave us a height because we wouldn't give them a number. We were saying we don't know how high the firmament dome is, but it's too high for you to make it to it in a rocket or an airplane. We know that. So now they got videos of airplanes and rockets crashing into some barrier. It's a psychological operation to see how many honest flat earthers are out there. Because if you're a dishonest flat earther and you so desperate to prove the firmament, you will take that as evidence when it's given to you by the enemy.
Good shit. Good call.
Yeah, big facts. Good shit, bro. Good shit.
It's set, they're planting a seed so they can come back later and find it like an Easter egg. Because soon as a flat earther pick that shit up and say, see, we can prove the firmament, look at this video, and they gonna pay the price for being lazy. That's called TikTok research. That's called, I just saw a video and I'm gonna regurgitate. I'm not gonna critical think, and I'm not gonna think it through. I wanna believe in a firmament dome, so I'm gonna take any information on the subject and throw it out there. That ain't happened, bro. And that's how these psyops, that's how we get these hit pieces.
It's really talking about a celestial dance that happened millions of years ago when another
This man said flat earthers are just making up shit about a dome, and then he proceeded to start making up shit about a story that he gotta be making up because he wasn't there. That's like, think about it. Billy Carson will tell scientists, Christians, well, I know for a fact he'll tell Christians, no one was around during Let There Be Light. Now, no scientist was around during the Big Bang. But you know, a lot of black conscious people will tell the Christians, who was there when God said, let there be light? Then they'll start telling stories about some solar story about Tiamat and all that. And I'd be like, bro, who was around when that shit was happening? We got to be fair. We got to be fair, man. Like, all the people that follow Billy will let him talk about all these cosmic stories. No one was around when these cataclysms happened. But then they will go ahead and tell the Christians, you know, you weren't around during the Let There Be Light.
Telling
So,
us what
come
they
on,
believe
man.
versus what we believe. And it's like, all right, once you get what it is, belief versus belief, outside of what we've actually seen and known, it becomes the debate becomes easy. So yeah, y'all got it.
Now this is scary.
It literally
We've
is
all heard
belief
about
versus
the
belief.
It's
Now, this is
crazy,
scary.
man.
You've all heard about the firmament theory. Well, if you haven't, stick around.
This is crazy.
Now, this is
Here you go.
scary. You've all
Yeah,
heard
bro.
about the firmament theory. Well, if you haven't, stick around because there's footage. It's a theory that space is fake and no humans can actually leave the atmosphere. In the clip I'm about to show, a plane actually hits the firmament and crashes. Watch the clip.
I'm just saying, if alien stories are popular right now, then I got abducted by an alien. If stories about the fact that aliens can't exist because there's a firmament dome are popular right now, then I'm gonna teach that. But you can't teach them both if one contradict the other, right? Nope, not if you're Billy.
TikTok Billy.
Right. The TikTok Billy can do things other than what the YouTube Billy can do. Goddamn. Yeah, what if we find out it's two Billy Carsons and the other Billy Carsons show up like, bro, my name is Billy. My
That's
name
William.
is
That's William Carson.
yeah, my
That's
name
William.
is Billy.
Yeah, William.
Like, nigga,
That's
my
his, he's using his
name.
real name now.
That nigga go show up like, my name is Billy TikTok Carson, and I am not Billy YouTube Carson. Nigga, that is not me. I'm telling you.
You see the side-by-side comparison with the water on the left side of the screen. It's a model plane to show the difference. You notice how the splash of the model plane in the water is very, very similar to how the plane exploded when it touched what we assume is the firmament. It's like an imaginary barrier that you can't cross, like something more powerful rejecting humans. I think it's interesting, but I also think it's very strange. I am currently live streaming these conspiracies. If you want to watch, press my profile.
Y'all see what I'm saying?
Now this is
Yo, he
This
said
is
imaginary barrier though. That's crazy.
But
This is crazy.
has anybody seen that?
And see that? Hold on a second, right? You gotta keep in mind when you go on Chat GPT and you tell it, type up me a good one minute prompt for the firmament dome, right? Because this what Billy did. Chat GPT is programmed to say that the firmament dome is imaginary, it's a conspiracy, and that flat earth is fake. So if you ask Chat GPT to do that for you, then if you're trying to prove that the firmament dome is real, you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot, because Chat GPT gonna put something in there like it's an imaginary barrier, but you're showing up trying to prove it's a real barrier. You got a video with a rocket crashing into something real while what's coming out of your mouth is imaginary barrier, because you just reading from a Chat GPT prompt. And if you ever listen to Billy, you can tell the difference between when he talking and prompt and script reading. So yeah, for sure. This was an ad basically to get you to something else.
Now this is scary. You've all heard about the firmament theory. Well, if you haven't, stick around because there's footage. It's a theory that space is fake and no humans can actually leave the atmosphere. In the clip I'm about to show, a plane actually hits the firmament and crashes. Watch the clip.
So it's just a result of lazy research. It's okay to use Chat GPT, but it ain't okay to not have your own goddamn conclusions and thoughts and stuff, because when you don't have your own thoughts, then when you trying to just go with the popular thoughts, you will be having all these conflicting and contradicting ideologies on your channel. Like, you will have a video saying I was abducted by aliens one year because that was hot, and then the next year aliens can't get into Earth because there's a firmament dome. You may even forget some of the shit you said if it's not really coming from a place of yours. So, you know,
boy, you exposing his ass, bro. God damn.
I remember like a couple of years ago, it was a video out of an Encyclopedia Britannica that came out that was before the Antarctica Treaty. Because the Antarctica Treaty was like in '68 or something like that. But the encyclopedia was like 2 years before that. And it was supposedly explaining the height of the firmament from the side and the middle is the highest point.
Yeah,
Have
so
anybody saw that video?
yeah, there are documents on Earth where the ancestors have said to have measured the firmament, and not just with the encyclopedia, even ancient people. So yeah, I ain't throwing that off the table. That's actually legit right there. But here's the thing: when you got to think, this is proof that our ancestors had advanced technology that was able to get them off the ground if they knew the height of the firmament, which we found out that it was true during Operation Fishbowl. You see what I'm saying? So during Operation Fishbowl, our government was launching rockets at the sky, and they wanted to see how far up the firmament was. So they found out that we are enclosed in a barrier. And guess what happened after that research? The space program. They found out the ancestors was right about the shape of the Earth, and they got busy pushing a lie about the globe.
And they had the space race between Russia and America.
Yeah,
Yep.
right in '69, and that's even after the Britannica. You know what I'm saying? But yet they still
Right.
went with the propaganda in '69. You know, talking about, oh, we went to the moon, a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, the whole moon missions was the fact that they found out everything the ancestors was saying about the Earth, the universe, our souls, and all that was true. And they've been lying to everybody ever since, for real.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy.
Big fact.
It's crazy because
It's
go
funny
ahead.
how America, the only country that claimed to put a man on the moon, and no other country said that besides America. That's kind of funny.
And we in 2025.
Big facts. And I'm glad y'all brought up the moon, because I ain't want to, switch from the Earth. But look,
That's the great deception right there when it's
Yeah.
said, yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson and Billy Carson will not discuss why we haven't gone back, because the reasons why, according to NASA, is because we ain't got the knowledge no more. We threw everything away.
Right.
And now, all right, now if that
Yes,
is what they said,
right,
that's what they
right.
said, right? Which is what they said. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
That's asinine. That's the dumbest I've ever heard in my life.
People will
From a
go for it.
superpower, like, but and people believe it. People go right for, but it's like,
But then they look crazy when they try to recreate the vacuum of space in the vacuum chamber, and they put the astronaut in there. And you know, when you put something in the chamber, matter expands, liquid bubbles, and
it's a
containers
closed chamber.
implode.
Yeah.
So when they try to put him in there, he almost died being in the dang on in that vacuum chamber. So they know that they bull. They bull,
But
they BSing. Because nobody can survive or nothing in a vacuum chamber.
And the thing is, right, and they put them in a chamber. The shit we've been saying, Earth is enclosed.
And enclosed,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Terrarium. Yep.
Come on, man.
That's how you get pressures and gases. It has to be inside a container to have pressure and gases for PSI, which stands for pounds pressure per square.
Everything really though, right? And that's how you get meters. That's how you get time, distance, and space. Everything is within a closed system, high pressure.
Even Bill Nye said it.
Even the science guy.
We are enclosed. We cannot leave. It's an enclosed system.
Let me give a big shout out to the sister Sally McDermott. Thank you so much for the donation, Sally. Thank you for your continued support. Go ahead, y'all.
Big facts. And one more thing before I forget. Neil deGrasse Tyson also is on record. They discussing that he said verbatim, you cannot see the curvature of the Earth from the ISS, which is the furthest thing with human beings on it. So any picture you see that they show you from the ISS, the International Space Station, those who don't know the acronym, it is not showing the curvature of the Earth. According to Bill,
Bill Nye. Go ahead, bro. All I was just gonna say is Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson. They never do a stream together and shit like that too.
Oh no.
Even though they both control oppositions, but I'm just showing you, like, they never do a stream together too.
They for two different dynamics. They for two. See, that's the way. This is how the whole agenda works. You got to have a talking head to deliver your agenda to different frequencies and dynamics. The people that Bill Nye would reach, Neil couldn't reach. So you got that they covering all that when they social engineering and all that too. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that makes sense.
They hitting you with hooks, lefts, and uppercuts at the same time.
The whole thing about what we saying here is from a theological perspective, though. You got to understand how anti-biblical the globe earth is, because one of those scriptures that I always bring up when it say no flesh and blood can enter the kingdom of heaven, that answers your question from a theological perspective, me, myself, when you said, why are we faking the moon missions? Why can't we go back to the moon? The ancestors was always telling the truth about this reality, the universe, and all that. We don't know their terminology and the way they was talking. That's why I said when you hear the word heaven, that's the word we use today for space. You know, when they talked about humans being caught up to different heavens and all that, this was the old space program, or basically a program that teaches how to leave the earth. And all of them was talking about through like out of body experiences, and they was like into different ways of inducing that. The Egyptians was too. But see, the whole thing about the modern space program, it tells you we can't leave the earth until we develop the physical technology to do it, which goes against everything that the ancients and everybody was teaching about how to get off the ground and make it to the heavens or the space. So they had to come with a new narrative, man. And this is why the Catholic Church and NASA is in bed together. But now look though, people see that the symbol of NASA is a serpent tongue, and that the word NASA in Hebrew means deceive. These are all facts. My whole thing be, how can you believe in something that's scientific? Shouldn't you be able to know it like 2 + 2 is 4? So people will come to you like, so you don't believe in space? You don't believe? And the real question is science a matter of belief or a matter of fact? Fuck what I believe. What can we prove if we talking science, right? So space is another belief system. Like, do you believe in space? Do you ain't been, but they said they been. The question is, do you believe them or not? You know what I'm saying? And
It's
if
like a religion.
it is a religion. That's what I'm pointing out. But they try to say we the religion when we the ones awoke from the damn religion.
It's
You
crazy
know,
because Billy.
in that, go ahead, though, my brother. Go ahead.
Nah, that's just I'm about to say. It's crazy because Billy Carson believe in the simulation theory, and I was laying right there.
What I was gonna say is that he, in that other video, he kept calling the firmament a theory. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden now he talking about, oh, the firmament is real. Not only that,
Yeah.
he's showing experiments. You know, like, boy, this nigga
Yeah.
he's exactly what you've been saying for decades now, man.
Yeah. You all right. Sanchez, you on there. You on to him.
And
Yeah,
you know
man.
why? Because y'all remember that FBI document, what's it called, redacted dump that just happened like a few months ago?
Yeah.
That included literally why they had a stack based off of religion. That Bob Lazar was like, yo, they got a stack on religion and actual faith and the power of faith and what faith actually is. It's a substance, and why religion and whatever you believe in is so important, because it's the actual substance that's used to create realities. But then they had actual documentations on the firmament, on the dome. Of course, Fishbowl, we all know about Fishbowl, but that dump that they just dumped about a few months ago has crazy work in it. And when we talk about patents, we got, like, y'all know about the Philadelphia experiment. Essentially, they dancing around on what looks like a twister board, but as they step on these specific spots on the ground, there's a certain frequency being played, and eventually they get that pattern down, and then they meditate through the wall. Some got stuck in that wall. But yeah, look up
But
what
they
this
shot
video. Y'all
themselves in the
got
foot.
go ahead.
Okay, let me move forward with the salutes, man. Appreciate that. We will look it up though. I want to play the Billy video real
Now,
quick.
this is scary. You've all heard about the firmament theory. Well, if you haven't, stick around because there's footage. It's a theory that space is fake and no humans can actually leave the atmosphere. In the clip I'm about to show, a plane actually hits the firmament and crashes. Watch the clip.
How long does it take to get from the ground to the firmament? Let's see. We know it's less than a minute for sure, because the video, a minute. I can't go for it.
You see the side-by-side comparison with the water on the
Master manipulator, man.
left side of the screen. It's a model plane to show the difference. You notice how the splash of the model plane in the water is very, very similar to how the plane exploded when it touched what we assume is the firmament. It's like an imaginary barrier that you can't cross, like something more powerful.
If you can't cross it, it ain't imaginary. It's real.
Facts.
For rejecting humans. I think it's interesting, but I also think it's very
Yeah, that's crazy.
Planet named Tiamat that was orbiting our sun. At that time it was the third planet. You had Mercury, Venus, and you had Tiamat. Earth didn't even exist yet. Through this particular epic, and also it's an Atrahasis epic as well. These are all 8,000 year old texts. There was a collision of a moon with Tiamat, which caused Tiamat to basically break up into huge chunks. And then
Didn't he just talk about CGI pictures of some dome and them all are CGI? Now he got CGI images of this solar story he talking about straight
right,
up.
bro.
And it's like, bro, the dude is such a hypocrite. I think that's on purpose. That's a tactic. Everything they doing, they saying we doing, and people can't even see the trickery in it. Like, but the whole thing is the ancestors literally spoke of a dome. It's carved into all of the hieroglyphics, the symbolism, and all that stuff. It's all around the ancient world, right? And this ain't no CGI artwork that the ancients were flat earthers. The CGI thing that he's talking about here, he needs CGI because it just ain't no proof for that. It's a story. It's a belief system. So that's crazy, man.
one of those chunks swept away and actually recoalesced and became the Earth. That's how Earth got here. Tiamat itself had a lot of water. It was a water-bearing planet with a lot of
he know because he was there when it was happening.
Land mass and life on it. It was even said that the glow of it from the sun's rays hitting it,
but this is the kind of stuff that people want,
shimmering off the water, would make it rival.
But listen to how much he's talking about the poetry of. He is even said that the water of the sun hitting it would glimmer off the waters and make it rival like the sun because it's so reflect. Whoa, that's so deep, Billy Carson. It's a story. It's a nice story, okay? We clap and now we keep looking for truth, right? Nope. We take the story as truth because that's the dumbass world we live in.
Not the Huda talking about, they used to say he got abducted and, remember he been crying?
Right.
That's
when
Pastor,
The alien abducted him.
That's Pastor Billy now.
Now you're contradicting your alien story now, Billy.
Can't nobody tell you a good lie. Like, the thing about Billy, the effort he put into looking like he know what he talking about, if he put that effort into literally doing the research, the man will be a beast. I'm just saying, think about this. You gotta imagine showing up every day trying to act like a football player to the point where, dude, just be one. The same amount of effort it takes for you to act like a football player takes going to practice, working out. You might as well cut the act. My whole thing be like, he's trying to act like a person that know all of this ancestral stuff, but he's putting more energy into learning how to act versus learning. Jib said he ain't really learning what the ancestors was saying. He just learning how to regurgitate shit from offline in his own way, but it's old information that he keep bringing back, which is why West Huff and different communities call Billy out all the time. The Christian apologists had him on trial a couple months ago.
Didn't he get smoked by that dude?
Oh, he got smoked by West Huff. And the crazy thing, he'll debate him, but he won't debate me. But let's play the video, though.
Feel about the firmament as well. Have you ever heard of that before? like the dome supposedly covering?
Yeah, that's actually a misnomer. If you look into the ancient Egyptian,
I'm just gonna keep playing this because it's just such hypocrisy. I gotta put it
there's
out
no
there.
text of the,
This video show you how skillful Billy is at making up shit. This is a 2-minute story that people look. If you read the goddamn chat right here, people going in on him saying how he an agent, but I want y'all to see some of the stuff. Which one was it? Pull this up real quick. This ain't the one. It's over here. I think it's over here. No, it's. All right.
I see him saying that he works for them now.
Mm-hmm.
What he offering $100,000 for again?
To prove the firmament.
So
But
you
then
know,
he
yeah.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now I was gonna say to prove the firmament, but now he comes out talking about the firmament. You know what I'm saying?
So
And
he
every
said he
time
want
he
100
brings,
for a picture of the firmament. Like, what do you say? You give $100,000 for?
I don't know about that part, but every time he brings up Tiamat, that's supposed to be the earth. You know, Tiamat, earth, that goes back to the Anunnaki stories. But now, nigga, you talking about the firmament. That kills all of that shit you've been talking
Right.
about. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. And
You
what
know?
they call in the sky, the firmament, the barrier up there. But the whole thing is, somebody said it in this comment section. Remember the old saying that the sky is the limit? So our people been doing flat earth knowledge about a barrier that's the limit up there that you can't go beyond. Why was the sky the limit? These are old sayings that was based upon a different whole ancient way of viewing this earth we walking on. See, the earth ain't changed. What happened was how we look at reality changed based on what the church did for the past 400 years. Basically the past 10,000 years. This started in Egypt. This new way of seeing reality with space and
Big
just,
facts, bro. And to back you up, bro, you know what the Hebrew meaning of firmament is? It's called Rakia or Raka or Raki. We know that Ra is sun or the energy of the sun, which is intelligence, right? And Ki, of course, or Chi in Kung Fu or Gung Fu is the energy you use that goes outside of your body. And Ki Rakia means the great expanse. When you like, if y'all look that shit up and actually look up the etymology of it and what
And
firmament
then it
comes from,
goes,
it
yeah,
goes
but then
trippy,
it
man. Yeah,
goes,
go
then
ahead.
it goes
watch
into
this,
breath.
right? I got you.
Go ahead, bro. I was gonna break down the firmament because now it
Yeah,
goes
do your
into
thing.
breath, the gas, the oxygen, the nitrogen, the helium. You know what I'm saying? It's still explaining the firmament where we've been,
Exactly.
no matter
It's
how
still a
much, you know.
it's still a finite system that expands the separation of the waters, which is the waters above and below is the greater barrier that we can't break through. Everything, the stars, the so-called
And
seven spirits of God, etc., are within there. But
the
yeah, you go
whole
ahead.
thing,
You go.
about us not being able to break through them, we can, but not in the body. That's what the whole, like, the soul is able to break through these
Big facts.
barriers. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But it was some I was about to pull up, man. I ain't gonna lie, y'all kind of made me forget it. Oh yeah, here's what I was about to
Comments.
pull up right here. So right here, right, the etymology of Scott is gonna get deep, right? Say right here, ski, psi. Remember that the SCI in science, or when you say psyche, psychiatry, PSI, all of that is the has etymological roots to the word sky. Now you may say, why, Sanchez? Let me show you real quick, because this is something I can show you better than I can tell you, and it'll make what I'm about to do only take a minute versus 5 minutes. So let me just grab this real quick. The question I'm about to answer is this: why is the word sky, dealing with the place above your head, related to the word psyche, dealing with your mind or your brain? Because guess what the ancestors taught? Here go the crazy part, and here go my proof. On the left, you got a god called Anu breaking through the sky. Guess what the ancestors said the sky was? Your own brain. And that your soul leaving your body is your soul breaking through the sky. For example, the ancestors said ain't no way in the earth or out of the earth unless you're being born again. The concept of birth was an out-of-body experience. That's why people was confused when he was saying, should I go back into the womb of my mother? But think about this. The ancestors was looking at the dream world as parallel universes. So if you look at this image right here, if you look at when you cut the brain open, how it looks inside the brain, that's exactly what the ancestors said the sky is. That turned into a teaching called As Above, So Below, where they was teaching that the human skull, the word skull, the SKI and skull, that's related to the SCI and science and sky and all of these things, y'all. Even when you say scale, because your intelligence come from above, which is the mind. So here's some more artwork to show you the sacred geometry of how the sky relates to the mind. See what I'm saying? This may sound weird to us today, but think about this, right? If you're dreaming at night and you in a whole nother alternative reality, walking around, doing your thing, you don't even know you're dreaming, right? And I walk up to you and I say, hey, how do you get out of this earth? You would go to looking up at the sky, thinking about rockets and all that, but you don't know that you in your own dream. And the way out the earth is to wake up from the dream like Neo in the Matrix. That's why they said life is but a dream. Death is awakening from the dream. The ancestors looked at humans like we're dead and that the people who on the other side are the living. We think about it backwards today. They look at the earth realm as the realm of the dead, and they said we ain't waiting to die, we waiting to be born. This earth is like a cocoon for a caterpillar. So they were saying that when the caterpillar going in the cocoon, it ain't living, it's dying, it's sleeping. It's like this, it's a caterpillar is in a sleep, is dreaming at that point, and that right now our soul in the body is like a caterpillar in a cocoon waiting to come out with wings. So this is basically the ancestors saw the human form as yet an extension of our human embryonic phases. So if you look at a human sperm on a microscope and you see it from a sperm turning into a human and all that, the ancestors said that you haven't completed transformation. When you become a human, you still a baby waiting to be born. That's why they talked about being born again, because our ultimate form is not a human. Just like that'll be like when you was a sperm cell, you thinking that you just a sperm and that's it. But somebody said, no, when you die as a sperm, you're going to resurrect as a human, because when the sperm crashed into the egg, it died. But what resurrected was the human. Now, when the human crash into the ground, go into the earth, it dies, but what comes up is something greater than that. So that's the simple ancient concept of life and death. And that's why sky has that same etymology with what we see here with cloud and skill and mind, Sion. Remember that they said a name of heaven. Another name of heaven is Zion, but the original spelling of Zion was Sion, which is SCION, which is how we get science and all that. But you also, it continues, it say, this is CO from the old Sats in the region of the clouds. This is where it gets good at the end of this right here. The Nordic word shadow is where we get the word sky. Now stop right there for a minute. It gets even better after that, but stop there. How is the sky a shadow, y'all? Because the Nordic word shadow, they had synonyms for that called veil, netter. See, the ancestors knew that the sky was like a layer, a covering, concealing a greater reality that's beyond it, what they call heaven, which is beyond the sky, right? So the sky is the limit to the body, but not the soul. The soul has no limitations, which is why it's, again, no flesh and blood can enter the kingdom of heaven. Check this out. The word sky also comes from the word mirror. Why? Because there are 7 skies that mirror each other, or 7 heavens, or 7 parallel realities that are like mirrors, because you exist in each one of them. They're mirroring each other. This universe is like a mirror house. Once you're born into one world, you're born into all of them. So when you step into the mirror house, you're going to be reflected all around as many versions of yourself. This is how the ancestors looked at each star as a version of you in that star living out a parallel reality. So it goes on to say, finally, the Gothic word sky comes from the word skeu, which is the English word skew. We spell that one skew, and it means to cover or conceal when you skew something. You to skew something is to make a false representation of it. And that's what your body is to your soul, a false representation of it based upon this skewing process. So what is a shadow? Is a skewed form of the body. Go look up what happens when artists draw, where they do skewed angles. This how you make a shadow, how the slanting of the shadow and the fact that it has no detail like the original self, is just a black silhouette. That's called skewing an object in art. So that's why the word shadow and skew relates in etymology. Y'all see what I'm saying? So,
Fact.
yeah.
That's just
Not
like the parabolic mirror scope. When you sit the frog inside the mirror scope at the bottom, and the frog will be facing towards you. But once you sit it down, it doesn't mirror, and once it reflects at the top, the frog is the opposite way. Just like how you're looking at yourself in the mirror, it gets inverted.
Damn, boy.
And
Hey, man, you
that's
you just
facts.
went in with that sky, skew, skill, skull. I was waiting on you to get down to skew, you know what I'm saying? Because even when you skew something on the
Skewer.
barbecue, yeah, because even
Skewer.
when you,
but
mhm,
it's they got SKU numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Hey,
barcode in every store.
but it reflects back though. That's
It
what I was trying to
reflects and
say.
it's
It
inverted.
makes a shadow. Like I was waiting on you
yeah,
to get
that's
down to
facts,
skew.
because look, the skewer part, just like a shish kebab or you skewing something,
Yeah,
is how the parallel realities are attached to the North Pole.
you
So
cooking.
I'm with you. You know what? Hey, look, this is what. Hey, this is where all of these terms come from. I'm with y'all on it. Y'all picking up on these same synchronicities. But this is the message that was hidden throughout the ages, where when the Bible say in the book of Revelation that the wisdom that was hidden throughout the ages will be revealed in these times. Dude, that's the flat earth shit. Don't you know that the earliest people on earth was telling this knowledge about the universe, the stars, your soul, the parallel realities, and the church came and suppressed that with fear mongering for like the past couple of ages. So when they talk about war with the serpent, you got to look at the symbol of the space programs on earth. They all got the symbol of this damn serpent, because they've been lying about the nature of God and the heavens, and denying the creator by giving you a universe with none behind it, just a mishap. So people gotta really start examining literally, like, why people like Billy Carson even have a position. You know what I'm saying? Because him talking about the firmament right now is just so that later they only making it a big topic so that they can make it a hit piece, y'all. Billy ain't one of us, man. We should have learned that with Jaron. You see what I'm saying? So the whole thing is he's coming out now talking about the firmament. Guess what's going to happen with Billy Carson? See, Billy Carson got a reputation of losing debates and not knowing what he's talking about, right? With a reputation like that, and now you coming out saying you a flat earther, that don't look good for us. We ain't, bro, it is not it makes us look even more less credible now. And then Billy coming over here bringing up the rocket footage. That is like a seed they plant. I'm telling you, Billy gonna make this firmament topic popular. And guess what's gonna happen? He's gonna get West huffed again, and it's gonna be a L for this thing. Because guess what? Even though the firmament is real, the way we trying to prove it with this rocket video is not right. It's dishonest. You see what I'm saying? It's no different than a globalist giving you a video of a rocket going to space. You giving them a video of a rocket going to your firmament dome. How are you gonna talk about people giving rocket videos now? You ain't proving your shit no different than what they doing. Watch my video. Oh, you don't believe it? You ain't one of us. You're making another belief system. You ain't bringing this shit from a factual perspective.
Man,
We're
manifest
saying
destiny.
True.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we showing you the video of the rocket hitting the firmament. You still don't believe the firmament. You suck, bro. That ain't flat Earth. That's a controlled opposition.
Big fact. Put that money somewhere, tax dollars, where we can all sign up to go see like Paramount's King's Domain.
I don't
Let's
think
go take
Billy
that
ever
roller
did his
coaster ride to go do
experiment in
that.
his life. He always talk about going to Egypt, but he ain't never went outside and did an experiment ever.
Yo,
Never.
And then
Sanchez.
he said Nut was bent over backwards. Like
Backwards,
she
and that
bent,
was back,
yeah.
and that's you can clearly
Yeah.
see
I'm
them
like,
forward.
what,
Like,
nigga?
what are you
Right.
talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
what
disrespecting it.
he
He trying to
did say
disrespect.
bent over backwards. That was kind of
Backwards.
crazy
Like,
though.
boy,
Yeah,
that shit pissed me off, bro.
that
But
was
that's
crazy.
a whole nother
Cause she for sure
story.
not, cause her,
And
Like
you
he
know,
and it's
yeah,
clearly
like
forward, bro, and it's
like
clearly a dome. Like, what are you talking about?
this man just said that the goddess nut was pop locking. Because I think when they bend over backwards like that, don't they call that pee popping or pop locking or some shit? So now, that's crazy right there, bro.
He gonna cry again. Give me a
yeah,
napkin.
some sort of stripper move.
Yo,
And
Sanchez.
Sanchez, you had me dying laughing when you were teasing something. Boy, it was so funny.
Yeah, man.
Boy,
And
This
they
look
gave
at
him
man,
this
that
little,
video
he
a
was
it's
like,
million
so
the
it's
times.
aliens
so
came and
crazy, man.
Yo, Sanchez, I appreciate you for breaking that Scott etymology down because you just made me realize why they came up with sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah,
is
that's
like
it.
sky-fi,
Yeah,
sky-fi.
And
Yeah,
thank you
So
for
yeah.
bringing that
Good
back up
shit,
again.
bro.
that's it.
Yes,
Tying it with
sir.
science was dummy.
That
Even
was fire.
scale and skull, all of that. The fire, bro.
that's
I
why
don't
I,
even
Billy.
know
I
what
just I
made you
just
pull up
debated my
sky.
cousin. I just
And
debated my cousin.
here
Yeah,
go a
we was
crazy thing, and I'll shut up right here. All of that, what I read about the etymology of sky, was attested from the 1300, meaning the word heavens, plural, heavens, and then it goes on to say the firmament, and that's our yield right there.
I've been arguing with my cousin. Oh, let me cut the beeping off. My bad. I've been
Right
arguing
there.
with my cousin yesterday. He was talking about space, right? And he was like, give him 3 minutes. So he was saying that, you know how I know space real? Elon Musk, SpaceX. I say, what? And
See what
I'm
I'm
like,
saying?
bro, Elon
Yeah,
Musk ain't never gonna go to Mars. Never. Like, you think they wouldn't have been capitalizing and
yeah.
charging people to go to Mars? That man ain't never gonna go to Mars. Never. If anything, he
Never.
trying to get your
You know,
soul out your body and go to augmented reality. Ain't nobody going to no Mars. He really
you
think
know.
that Elon Musk is gonna take people to Mars
Mm-hmm.
Bro,
because he
Mars
got
is
And
in
SpaceX.
what's
I'm
Mars
like,
is in
bro,
Nevada, bro.
that is
what's
bull crap.
What's
You
crazy
know,
about the word firmament, it got the root word firm in it. And I've been pointing out that something firm and strong, you ain't gonna break through it. This is what the Bible said, and they can't go to space. They can't go through the Van Allen belts, which are the firmament domes, the ethers. So there we go.
Exactly.
even if you
Big
say
fact.
the word, even if you say the word SpaceX, you flip it backwards, it's escape. You know what I'm saying? SpaceX, you put the X in the front, it's
Exactly.
escape. You know, I had put that link in the back, bro. That
And he
Mm-hmm.
picture
really
I had.
When you
But
when
he
you
really
go
say,
ahead, Red.
think that
go
he's
ahead.
he gonna colonize Mars, and we should know
Nah, man,
by
he ain't
now.
doing that.
But you know what else is funny? I follow Rod Hayes on Facebook. He keep posting how the aliens coming. I said the aliens ain't get here yet. For 3 days they been coming,
Right,
they ain't get here yet.
right,
It take them
right.
3
Right.
days to get here.
So,
Ain't they outside? Why they ain't
so
get here yet?
And
when
when
you
they
say
get here, they crashing. Go ahead, bro.
when you say the word firmament, right? And I'm just gonna give the people the knowledge, man. Like, we know what it is. Nobody in the chat, most of us on here believe in aliens or a globe, but I sure hope some smoke show up. I'm gonna say this real quick, right? On about this etymology. The word firmament. The T is what's throwing y'all off. Take that off. It's really the firm of Amen. Now, this gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I've already said the crazy stuff you could think of, but the truth is stranger than fiction. We said that this shit's a simulation. Like this world we in is a simulation. Science is coming around to that. All of the ancestors were saying this earth is a simulation. And it's basically their way of saying it was saying is not our true home. It's like a similar to our true home, which is where you get the word simulation from. Similar is like a parallel reality. It's similar to heaven would be the base reality. Earth would be this parallel reality that's similar, and it's a simulation. Now, all the ancients knew that, which is why they said we trying to get back to our true home, which is the whole concept of going to heaven of all that. But it was said that this simulation, this similar Earth, was created by ancient tech gurus who got souls stuck inside of some computer-like Earth realm. And this is how these parallel realities was created. But one of the names of the name of that pharaoh that rung bells throughout antiquity is the one responsible for this. His name was Amen, which is Aten.
Firm of Amen is fire, Sanchez.
Yeah.
Go back into that.
So that's what I'm saying about the firm of Amen. Because look, the sky around us is hard for people to believe like that may be created by ancient humans, and that the earth we're in is something that's man-made. And not think about it like this whole gaseous atmosphere that's around us is like you being born in a big mushroom cloud, or like a nuclear fallout zone, or let's say someone set off a big bomb and the sky get blotted out with this dirt and smoke, and it's so much power and dirt kicked up there that it takes it hundreds of years for the dust to settle for us to see the real sky. And everybody that's born up under that dust cloud is gonna be mutated because they're getting blocked from the true sun and all that. So the people born in this realm, your body is a mutation of your soul, according to the ancients, that you're a mutation of your original self, and that the real you is waiting to leave from under this big dust cloud that we call Earth. Like the sky we look at above us is something beyond that they call heaven. But this what's keeping us from seeing heaven, which is the true reality, is this big dust cloud, this blue atmosphere that we're breathing, and we're saying we trying to make it to space is like what ancients been saying since the beginning. We trying to make it out of this false simulation, this firm of Amen, this guy that was trying to play God, or guys, because it's a firm. It's basically the ancestors got smart millions and billions of years ago on Earth. And according to some, the earth is a result of ancient technology. So the word firmament being called the firm of Amen is really deep when you think about all that, you know.
It's crazy
It's
because
like a
I
big
just watched
TV
the
screen or something. Like a mirror screen. The sky is like a mirror screen. And if you pull up that mirror scope, it recreates the same depiction of how our reality works. And it's like a mirror, and it inverts. Because I never really paid attention to when you put the object inside the bottom, and you know how it come at the top and it looks real, but when you touch it, you go straight through it. But if you put a laser on it, it's like it's an actual thing, like it blocks it. But the actual object is turned away, like how you look in the mirror and it gets inverted. I never paid attention to that part, as
Well,
it being
check this
inverted.
out. Check this out, though,
You right.
Renton. So the word ruach, that's spirit, that's breath. as long as there's human beings, it's always going to be creating a firmament. You see what I'm saying? So even if you keep going down reading the word bro had for firmament, if you scroll down more, it literally is rakia or ruach. You know what I'm saying? So
Right,
no, as
right.
long as there's human beings, we're always going to create the herd within, or that word he has there, DHER, which is herd. You know, but the point I wanted to focus on is the breath, the gaseous, you know, the carbon dioxide, the oxygen, all of that. No matter what, we're put here to learn ourselves too, you know, to elevate to different levels of the atmosphere as well too. But as long as you have humans, you're always going to have the breath of life, which is also confining you in the firmament. The body can't leave this shit. It's only spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Or
You know,
soul.
I tell you what, when people have a problem with creationism, just like Jeff Maple said, if someone created the freaking universe, that'll be crazy. Like, how could someone create this? Let me show you something, right? Let's say we make a computer simulation like a video game, which they're doing now, by the way. You can put on Neuralink, which is a brain computer interface. You can upload your consciousness in a false reality. They already did it. They had a rat living in a computer. The rat was sleeping in this world, but its other body that it was living in the computer was running around doing everything while the poor rat was dreaming, thinking that was the real him in the dream. What are the chances you ain't doing that right now? Some ancient person said life is but a dream. Now watch this, right? If there is life after death, then guess what that means? Whatever we're experiencing now is not the end conclusion. If it's not the end conclusion, it ain't the real world. It's a layer. As the ancient people said, I'm just passing through here. So watch this, right? If ancient people created fake alternative universes and got stuck in them, you wouldn't know it, because just like they're teaching today, we got the technology to make simulations that are so real when you go in them, they're indistinguishable from real life. They got that right now. So you can be asleep in an Earth-like world plugged into a computer, living out the rest of your life. By the year 2050, they said people will be able to choose which one of these existences they want, meaning that how most of the people be on the internet a lot, most people are gonna be spending most of their life sleeping, plugged into simulations in the future, because you can be whatever you want to be in these worlds, a celebrity, and it's just like real life. People just gonna sleep through this shit in the future. Now watch this, right? All of this was talked about, it and happened before, and it's just history repeating itself. Saying that we can't create what we're experiencing right now at this point is just willful ignorance, because we already did it. It's a result of you not paying attention and keeping up with technology. We in 2025. They uploaded a rat brain into a computer 10 years ago, and you still saying we can't do it. This is the kind of stuff y'all need to be researching, being up on how technology going and what they're capable of doing in the world or not. So, man, if you don't know how advanced technology is right now, you're really slipping. Putting a rat inside of an Earth-like simulation is old technology at this point. It's not a matter of arguing, can we do it anymore? We're so damn late with everything. We love to say the government are ahead of us. They way ahead of us with technology. You know why? Because when people are telling y'all what they can do, y'all denying the shit. People was telling y'all that the government had cell phones before cell phones existed. And they was getting laughed at. People was telling them you watching too much Jetsons. Because the first time we saw cell phones was in the Jetsons. People thought it was just cartoon technology. People were saying that's the future. and they was called conspiracy theories. The conspiracy theories are the prophets telling y'all what's gonna happen before it happened, but no one listened to the prophets. That's why you always slow, late, and fucking behind. Cause they can't do, you mean to tell me they can do, man, they got glow in the dark fish that are patented. Man is making his own stars in the sky now. And the Bible talked about that man would be doing what's called signs and wonders in the heavens. See, they had their own way of telling you the shit we was gonna be going through. Why? Because it was happening in their time with the pharaohs in Egypt. We ain't doing nothing new under the sun. So I'm gonna yield the flow right there.
Yeah, that's real. And another thing I noticed about the mirror scope is that the in the background it shows the pattern of the heavens or the planets that makes, you know how Pluto might make a wide circle, and then Mercury make like a smaller circle, and it shows the shape of the skies making their how they move around above our head. And it's like I never noticed that. But that mirror scope, man, is like really crazy how it's like you looking at a mirror, and it's an inverted reflection of yourself or whatever it's reflecting. And it's crazy because I never really paid attention to that because
What
I was
you
just
get?
so stuck on the actual frog that's in the center, the frog that's on the top. When you touch it, your hand go through it. But if you put a laser on it, like a red, the little red beams that you get on a pin, it doesn't go through the actual object. It's like the object is really there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
like when you, hey, let me chime in real quick. I just need 2 minutes for my 2 cents. When bro was talking about science and Zion, the bigger word of Zion and Sion is ion. And when you look at what an ion is rooted in light. And the father of light is described, in the Bible, the father of light, the creator, right, of the simulation, right? So when we're talking about light, you're right, Redden. It will, but when you shine pure light, which is laser light at it, just like
It's
when
like
we
it's
are,
physical.
yeah,
Can you
exactly.
can you
And
bring it
that's
up
who
real quick,
that's who
Sanchez,
we are.
please?
That's
Well,
Can you
full
go ahead and
time.
bring
let
up the
me
mirror
ask
scope real quick so I can show y'all what I'm
let me
saying?
ask me myself this though.
That's
What
What's the
full
he?
time.
My
difference
bad.
between
What
Bring
you
up the
want to
mirror
bring?
scope with the frog, Sanchez, because I want to show y'all how it's actually it has the patterns in the background with the
it's
zigzags
rippling. It's rippling. But
Yeah,
I
I
was
got
just
you.
and the shape
So
of it.
Yeah, for
Look how
sure.
the shape
I've
looks like a
I've
torus
seen.
field.
Yeah. This is what how our body is projected. You know.
facts in different layers.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
then that frog is inside is the other way. The frog, see the other way? See how the frog at the bottom
Mm-hmm.
is the other way?
There's
Yeah.
a
And the,
mirror
and
within
the
that
actual
actual dome.
frog, the actual
Yeah.
frog is the opposite way than that one, just like a mirror.
So what you were saying, right? And that laser's it's not gonna go through the frog.
No, it's gonna bounce. It's gonna sue it like it's actually there when you use
So
the razor.
me myself, look, that's photonic energy when you was talking about the light, bro.
Fact.
It's
Yep.
actually electromagnet. Same thing though.
But see, the
Electromagnetism
whole
because it's in
thing
a
about the
different
word,
spectrum.
the reason
Go ahead.
I ain't tripping on, see, the word Zion is supposed to be a kingdom of light. And that again, the kingdom of light is the holographic projection of Earth, not the physical Earth. It's like the
Right.
right. So my whole thing about um Zion and ion being dealing with light, like me myself was putting it. Well, ion is also eon. Light is vital force, and an age represent vital force. Like it is a way to separate. We separate time
Yes.
and ages, and so you will see it's a period of existence. The eons are like the ripple effect of time creating Saturn. All of the rings, every eon is a ring or age, a parallel reality, a checkpoint in time. So this was kind of complicated how the Mayan was seeing time like a ripple effect versus a
Hmm.
line. But see, it's so much proof that the ancients saw time as a ripple effect and not a line like Pope Gregory, because Why is Saturn the god of time? Because Saturn represents a ripple effect, a bunch of rings coming out with. So when we talk about chronological order, and it got the root word chronos, which is the name of Saturn, then chronology ain't dealing with time in a line, but a series of rings that are being born from an epicenter and recycling in and through a torus field. It's how the Mayans saw the dispensation of time. But that's why I want to bring up Eon with that. You know,
Isn't
Nah,
it an
leave it
ancient
right there.
god
Leave it
said
right
called
there on
On
Eon.
Sanchez? Isn't it like an ancient god called On, like
On,
On?
yeah, that's
Like
yeah,
leave it
there you
ON?
right
go.
there, bro.
Yep.
And it's
On?
also
And
so
Eon is
Eon,
Neo. Yeah.
Neo, exactly, bro. So
One.
even in
Yeah.
like chemicals, ion is different than an atom. A ion is splitting the atom or outside of the atom. You know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of like being your conscious mind outside of the constructment or the construct. You see what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like elevating to Zion. You know what I'm saying? Like so, if you look up the word ion and what atom is, you know, it's not mathematical. Like for example, 2 + 2 = 4. 5 would be an ion. You see what I'm saying? 4 would be the electrons, the protons, and everything equal and the same. But an ion is splitting an atom. You see what I'm saying? And this is where it comes in with fucking alchemy and all this shit, putting sodium chloride together. Just understanding the earth you want, but an ion or eon is being outside of the so-called construct. That's what an ion is. You know what I'm saying?
Turn
Yeah.
on the light. ON,
And
hmm
on.
and
So,
and
and it can goes back to Neo, you know, understanding, oh shit, this isn't reality. This is the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? It can all be flipped to the same shit. The one, the neon, the
and
ion,
so
you know?
and one thing I was saying about the concept of mirror at the middle of the earth, just like where the middle of this frog at, is called Maru. The reason they called the North Pole Maru, it was their way of saying mirror. They was saying that
Facts.
these seven, it's like this, right? When they talked about the waters separated from the waters and the seven netters, it's like seven reflective mediums. And once you are on the bottom one, you're reflected upward into all of the up ones and vice versa. It's like when they say the face of God hovered over the waters. Imagine you being hovering your face over some waters, but it's 7 layers, and each layer of water reflect a slightly different version of you. This is what the parallel realities are. So the real us is in heaven, and we're hovering above the waters, and the body is the reflection on the waters of God's face. All of us are God. Ye are gods. We all are God. This is the story of how we get to be humans. So the ancestors was trying to teach kids how they soul get trapped in the body and how it was going to get out. And these became stories of resurrection, being born again, all of that. But when you say aura, right? When you say my aura, guess what you just said? Mirror, when you put them together. So
Fire.
all the etymology is there. Like when you say mirror, you're saying my roar, because your reflection is literally a sonar impression like cymatics. So it is like the same reason why God had to exclaim everything into existence. Like he had to speak it, let it be this, let there be that, because it's about cymatics. The only thing that existed was the darkness, which was called the primordial waters. And once God started to speak to those waters, there were patterns that started to appear on the surface of the water that we call trees, animals. It's science involved. This is cymatics. But the crazy thing about all this, right? When they say God hovered over the waters, they talking about the sperm entering the mother's fetal bag. The sperm is a sound wave that is disturbing the mother's waters, and the body is the disturbance. It is the impression. Think about this, right? Just like cymatics, you got a surface of water that ain't being disturbed, ain't no pattern on it. Then you go to bumping a sound next to it or a frequency, and you can make all of these beautiful shapes and sacred geometrical shapes on the water surface with sound. Just shaping the water with sound, making it the vibration. So the sperm, your sperm was literally a form of like a sound wave traveling. And once the sound made contact with the mother's waters, the body is literally the cymatic result of sound and water, just like with any cymatic experiment. So that is dope, like how even when you deal with cymatics, when the sound is gone, then the pattern fades away from the surface of the water, which is to say, when your soul leave your body gonna fade away because it's just a cymatic disturbance in the ether. When the sound that's causing the pattern on the water leave away from the water, then we won't see the pattern on the surface of the water, and we'll say, well, that person died. Their cymatic frequency faded away because the sound that created it left. You see what I'm saying? So,
Hell yeah. Even the word phase is shape, you know? Phase
facts.
And
is
that,
literally shape.
And that all black
SHAPE.
is like the darkness, and then the light is in the middle. The all black is like darkness, like going closing your eyes, going in the darkness, and then the center is the light.
You
That's
know
why they
what
say
though,
you born
Ratton?
in.
You know what though, Ratton? Even the Egyptians' pyramid, they were all built around water, which would show the reflection, just like this frog. You know, all the pyramids were built like this too. You know, to where the reflection of the water shows as above, so below too. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And it's shaped just like a torus field, the way how the miroscope is shaped, or a
Mhm.
UFO,
Oh yeah.
or what have you.
That's
But this
facts,
right
bro.
there, bro, that picture you have right there with the Yggdrasil's tree, boy, that goes back into the sky, the skull, the skill, the skewer, the Yggdrasil
Yeah,
tree
the
you have.
mind,
That was tough,
yeah,
bro. That was
right.
tough, bro. The sky breaking down. Even when you said the firm of Ament, you know, and you can
That
even
was
look up the
fire.
word. I know you took the T off of it, but you can even look up the word ament. You know what I'm saying?
Same,
It's
yeah.
all same shit, bro.
Because
You
they
know.
call it, they say the halls of a minty. They put that T
Mm-hmm.
on them. You right
Mm-hmm.
about that. They do put that T on it a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Yes,
That's why we
sir.
got
And that's what they talk about on out of body experiences, the halls of a mental. Yep,
and
for
that's
sure.
crazy why we got amendments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Y'all
that's right.
cooking.
Yep,
And
Mm-hmm.
you know,
that's
Sanchez,
I love
facts.
you
y'all
said
boys,
something about
man.
now when you was cooking with that mirror. I gotta bring this up. We was going up with the mirror concept. Look at where we live at. America.
Damn, that is
Y'all blowing my
crazy.
mind, my nigga. I ain't gonna
But
lie.
that
Hey,
is crazy. I ain't gonna
That's
lie. I ain't
crazy.
never,
Right.
I
Fire.
never,
That's
I never
fire.
peeped that in the word
That's
America.
fire,
Uh-huh.
bro.
That's
Who said
fire.
that
Nah,
just
Wisdom.
now?
this but
That's
look,
that's
but
that's real
look,
fire right there.
this the
Salute to all
energy
y'all.
y'all giving
Right.
me, bro. I'm seeing this is like right in front of our face because the America is a reflection of the world. Really, like
You know
they
what's
mirror.
crazy? When you
And
say
that
that the
frog
word
too.
mirror is in America is deep because they
Yeah.
tried to make America a mirror of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? They literally
Mm-hmm.
tried to rebuild Egypt in the West.
Yep.
And then
Ty
they call
Mary. It was
every other
Ty Mary.
country, they call every other country from around America rippling like first world, second world, third world. You know what I'm saying? It's like all being mirrored away from what America, their standard should be. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was tough, my nigga. That was good one.
yo, put that on a t-shirt. First of all,
And that
bro,
frog looked so
mirror. No,
physical,
hey,
man. That
check
frog
it for
looked like
real.
an actual
Hey,
physical thing.
no, we get it. Hey, but look, mirror. And what did you say? Bro, you said mirror is you
My
rhymed it with
roar, my roar.
yeah,
Ooh,
is my aura. Yo, mirror is my
my
aura.
And
Put
aura.
my
that on the
aura.
t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yo, I've never heard that
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
Well,
fire,
check
My
this.
Sanchez.
mirror
Check
Clean.
equals
this one out
yo,
though.
all right, y'all
What
got
I
it.
used to always say back in the day is like Miro is like me oracle. You know what I'm saying? Like me oracle, Miro oracle.
What,
You
Big
know,
fact.
that's
And
uh-huh.
so
then mirror in America and mirror, y'all got it.
so
My mind's
so
blown a little bit.
so I'm this gonna go into
Middle.
the whole another sci-fi thing about mirror and my aura. Every one of your auras is a lower version of yourself that made a mistake already that you got to learn in order to master that version. So my aura is my error too. You're done wrong. So when they say we born into sin, you born into your synthetic version, and these synthetic versions of ourselves have their errors or their auras. They're basically the sins of the soul falling into a level where the soul can go and deal with them by actually being manifested and embodying the thing, like a voodoo doll, but actually you're a living voodoo doll. So it's like your body is like a classroom for your soul to master something about itself that they already saw in heaven wasn't good. And until we all master these different things, we cannot activate our God body up there in heaven and claim our inheritance. So the Hindu and everybody was saying that the process of reincarnation over and over until we become our greater version, these reincarnations is like a filtering process. So let's say it's something very dirty, right? You got some water you need to filter. You would filter it for big debris and fine debris. So you will have big nets for the big rocks, fine little cheese grate type nets for the smaller stuff. And you will have all these different filtering processes, and the water will have to pass through a different filter over and over again. That's like your soul passing through a different lifetime or reincarnation over and over again. But each time it's getting cleaner and cleaner. These realities are filtering us of our worst ways. It is a initiation process. So the stairway to heaven was always a climb. You can't get dropped off there. You got to climb up there through the process of mastering the self. So the concept of being good to go up there is still a true concept. You know what I'm saying?
And the me is mind, or men is mind. The root word of mental is mind. So the men in the middle is me, is the mind, the mental.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you were saying that, bro Sanchez, right? Salutes to the panel, salutes to the chat, Mr. Wriggles, right? When you were saying what you just said, I just visualized that Russian doll. When you open up that Russian doll, then there's another one. And you open up that one, there's another one. And then another one, and another one. You know, so going through those steps, yeah, I totally feel that. And with the Billy Carson, I feel you too, right there, Awakening Minds, right? I was shocked by it. That's extremely shocking, but it just shows us the agent ways.
Yeah.
And they're using Billy to funnel, right? Because you're making a lot of noise, bro Sanchez, right? And the TikTokers over there, they're making some noise, you know. So they're gonna use Billy to funnel everyone over here and just give them just a little bit more truth instead of the expansion of thoughts, like as you guys, gentlemen, are beautifully doing today, right? You guys got me thinking crazily today. And, you know, this is what I see from Billy and all that.
Yeah, I mean, people may be wondering, why would Billy be teaching the firmament now? See, when Billy was hot and Billy had a lot of influence, he dissed the firmament. Now that Billy went through his ritual, his West Huff ritual, and he's considered like a joke to the community, he's clinging. Now he want to attach on, yo, don't come around us when you get shit on you. You see what I'm saying? You trying to come around us, we like your last little option, your last resort. Like, now that your own community and different, like the Christian community lost respect for him, a lot of different communities after the West Huff and other situations, but, and then you go into the man house, bro, that was crazy. But yeah, man, he's like, well, shit, I'm finna get with the flat earthers now. They'll take me because they just as desperate as me. Won't nobody fuck with them, and won't nobody fuck with me now. But he don't realize, bro, we so cool with nobody fucking with us. We ain't desperate because of that. We like that. This ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right, bro. I could believe that shit.
Yeah, I think he's going through what you said, the ranks, you know, of the order. you know, all the humiliation and all of that, you know, so break you down so you can come back up. You know, even his company, you know, that he was trying to establish with the space thing, and then now you're here. Like, weird. You know what I mean? But, you know, shouts out to Billy. You know, I don't trust you at all, you know, at all. And I don't advise anyone else. I mean, he knows his stuff a little bit, but I wouldn't trust him at all. And I thought, lastly, I thought Tiamat, the only time I've heard someone speak about Tiamat back in the days was Dr. Blair. You know, and, you know, Dr. Blair spoke in codes, you know, so, and I thought Tiamat was the name of Earth. It wasn't this planet, I guess. I
Hey,
might be wrong.
Wriggles, I'm so glad
Now,
you brought that back up, bro. Oh no, go ahead, bro. You got it.
Nah,
I found the dumbest comment on this whole video, y'all. It is from Morris62. It say, bro, it's more expensive to fake going to space than to actually go. That's so fucking funny right there, bro. You mean to tell me if I can just buy a prop that look like a rocket versus a real rocket, that ain't gonna be cheaper? You mean to tell me if I can just go in the Hollywood set and fake space through some cheap ass green screens, that ain't gonna be cheaper than me trying to lift off? Because you can go look on Chat GPT, is like 10,000 gallons of fuel. And you gotta ask yourself where the hell they storing all that fuel at on that little rocket.
right.
Because I can show you some water tanks in the South and show you how many gallons in them.
Because
So,
that shit burning off the whole time. As long as you see fire, that joint burning off.
But fuel equals weight. I used to put
You do.
fuel on
yeah,
airplanes,
fuel
and
equals
that's
weight, right?
and plus distance. You know, so that's why I be killing them with, wait a minute, there's no distance in space. So how can you even equate fuel, how much fuel you would need or speed you would need to be
There's no
going?
up, left, down, or right.
There's no thrust, you know. But that just comes from me working with airplanes, putting fuels on airplanes, bringing the fuel weight to the pilots. You know what I'm saying? Plus whatever the carriage is and the passenger is. You
Dig,
know, so but yeah, you're right, you myself. Like,
dig
come
this,
on, bro.
right? I'm finna blow y'all mind, right? When we so-called went to the moon, we would have needed 318,000 gallons of liquid oxygen. That would have been just for the first stage. For the second stage, we would have need an additional 260,000 gallons. And for the third stage, another 66,000 gallons. And I'm not even adding the 203,400 gallons of kerosene you needed. Now, you need all this on one little ass rocket. Do y'all know how many gallons of liquid? Let me show you a water tower real quick, because people don't, I told you, people, it's easy to deceive the whole world like they said a serpent would do. The serpent ain't smart, we just dumb. The world just, we don't critical think. Now watch this, y'all. I'm gonna show you something. Here is a water tower. Let's just pick one, anyone. Let's see. Let's go
63,000 gallons. That's what they
right.
said for an airplane. It don't make no sense.
Let's
But
see
now they're
how
saying that
many.
an air. Go ahead, my bad.
I wanna do something real quick. I'm trying to see what's the biggest water tower on Earth, and then try to see how many gallons. So the biggest water tower, well, you got one called a Union Water Sphere right here, right? This has what it says, how it's holding 250,000 gallons of water. Now, remember, we need about a couple of million gallons for our little rocket. Remember that. Remember, this gonna add weight too. You gotta think how much this little rocket gonna weigh with this fuel. And then, just come on, people, look at this right here. Look at how big this Union Water Tower is. Imagine the size of a human standing next to that, bro.
Plus, you got to keep it balanced to fly. You know what I'm saying? It can't
Right.
be in a cone.
Mm.
And then you need the same force to get back to Earth. You know what I'm saying? So I
But
feel
but
you, bro.
are they really putting fuel inside the airplanes or not? Because they were talking about how the turbine, the engine
Hell
is
no.
shaped like how Anchor Watts is shaped. Like it's like
Hell
a
no, bro.
Well,
energy thing.
maybe now with the new
So
Airbus
are they
system.
really putting fuel in the planes, or are the
Nah,
Let me
planes
nah.
tell you
flying?
something, bro. If they can make it look like they is easily though, and you wouldn't be able to tell or not. They can make it look like they're doing something right there, putting something, you know. So
And the fuel is strictly for weight, my nigga. No matter what the airplane can be, it could be electrical, but the fuel is for weight. It goes in each side of the wings. You know what I'm saying? I'm a nigga that used to put fuel on airplanes. They'll come back with not even the same amount, but maybe three-fourths of what they use to fly out. The fuel is literally just for weight. It
Facts for
ain't to
balancing, yeah,
fly
But
the
the
for weight,
where
yeah,
are they
yep.
putting the fuel at? If they're saying
it
they
it
put
goes in both sides.
63,000 gallons in an
It
airplane, and the 63
so
gallons,
so
just like that thing Sanchez showing right now, how is that getting on the plane?
it goes
so
in both sides of the wings and underneath the
right.
plate to
So
create lift. But
right.
go
So
ahead though.
so the thing is this: we can call it fuel, but for all we know, it can be less water. It can be some kind of just, you know. I'm just saying, you know, for balancing, like he said, it may not be used as a fuel, but as a balancer because the plane is basically a control. It's gonna, you know, there are all of these theories on how the plane can get lift without fuel. I've heard them all. They do make sense. But yeah, you would still need some stabilizer force because when you hurling through the air, what's stopping a spin out? Because if you real light going through that turbulence, that's when your weight, you're gonna need that weight up
Like a
there. I can
kite.
see what
You're
you're
gonna
saying.
need
Yeah,
balances, yeah, like a kite.
yeah.
Yep.
And it's a special type of fuel, bro. It's called Jet A fuel. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different. It can all goes back into what you just said. You know what I'm saying? It's Jet A fuel. It ain't even regular fuel or gasoline that you get from the pumps or oil or none of that shit. It's Jet A. Like where do you store all of this shit at, first of all? But
Exactly. A
that's a whole
special
nother
type of fuel
story.
for a special.
Uh-huh. And I'm a
And
nigga that
so,
worked on planes for about 5 years.
so what I'll do, right? I'm gonna show them a picture of what we went to the moon in, and they can tell me where we stirred at least about 100 of these damn. No, we ain't gonna need about 100. You're gonna need about 5 or 6 of these, is what I'm gonna guess, because let me see, we go around about a
Exactly.
million. Get about 5 or 6 of these. You're gonna
Because when
need.
you do the math, bro, it's
Yeah.
250,000 miles to the moon, they say, around that, right? Approximately. And it's supposed to take about 2 weeks. But then, then they give us what they give us. But yeah, y'all got it. I just want to throw them numbers out there.
Yeah, I can't see how we nah, bro. We
Not 2 weeks,
ain't,
excuse me, I'm
nah,
sorry.
hell
It was like
nah,
2 days.
bro. We ain't putting 1,000,000 gallons of nothing on this right here. I'm sorry. But I can't see sits. I just can't see sits Union Towers on this. I can't
Hell
see.
no.
Yeah,
And
you're right,
then yeah,
Sanchez.
I just can't see it, bro. 6 Union Towers, 6 of these circles right here. You know how big this bubble is at the top of there?
Not
It
only
says
that, bro, if you
63,000
go back,
gallons, right? It's whole 63,000 gallons.
Now
if you
this one
go back
here
to the rock,
holds uh
More than that.
250,000.
but if you go back to the rocket, bro, the
Yeah, I was right. It's
rocket
3 days to
isn't
get to the moon. Yeah.
the rocket is in stages. So you get rid of the thrusters, then you get rid of the next layer. You see all these lines here? These are supposed to be holding fuel. The control is at the top like an airplane. You know what I'm saying? But you get rid of all of this when you go through the layers. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
it's
where the
crazy
fuck
how the
you? But
engine shaped
where?
like a
But this is what I'm
cymatic
trying to
shape,
say
though.
though. This is
The
what I'm trying to
engine
say.
of
Yeah,
the airplane is shaped just like a cymatic shape, and that's how they
yeah.
say the plane's flying off actually free energy
But
instead of actual fuel.
if you look at this rocket, each of these are stages where they're released. You see what I'm saying? You got the next circle, that's released. Then that's released. Every time you're getting closer and closer to
Right.
your
That's what I'm,
destination.
and basically
Uh-huh.
what they saying is each circle is them using one of those Union uh
Yes.
towers of fuel,
Towers.
right?
Oh, and I'm like, come on, bro. Then how do y'all even get back? How
That's
do
what I'm
you get
saying.
back into
Right.
Earth's rotation
Now
and
that's the
break the
question.
rotation?
Because
Yeah,
guess
bro.
here go the problem that they at. If it take me And I don't know, let's just say, because I'm guessing, let's say it take you 100 gallons of gas to get from New York to Cali. I don't know how many gallons. Matter of fact, let's look it up so I don't look crazy. I'm finna make a point. I'm just going so it can just be, so it'll take you about 100, I was right, 100 gallons of gas to get from East Coast to West Coast, right? Now watch this. If it take me 100 gallons of gas to drive from New York to Cali, you think I'm gonna get back for free, y'all? So look, if it take 100 gallons one way, it take 100 gallons the next way. That's simple math, but not when it come to space, because it take you 1 million gallons of gas to get to the moon, but we don't know where they fueled up to get back.
Facts, Sanchez. Right. They had it in their backpack.
That's what I've been saying too. And then
Now,
the Earth is
yeah,
rotating at a certain speed. So if you're coming back into that rotation, you have to have enough so-called fuel to thrust you into that rotational speed to even get back to Earth. You see what I'm saying? It's all bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm. And
Where
let me
they
give a
gassing up
shout
to
out.
get back though?
Yo, let me give a shout out to Raymond Gonzalez for gifting that membership. Appreciate the love. Yeah, man, the thing about that whole fuel thing is they will have to say, well, you know, they had backup fuel on the moon. So when they landed, so now you got a problem for you to have an extra 1 million gallons of gas just sitting on the moon. You would have still needed $1 million worth gas to bring it there. So if I go back to my road trip, if I got a reserve of gas in Cali, 100 gallons, I still need 100 gallons to get to Cali. So my thing would be, you would have still needed a million gallons of fuel to get to the moon, to store 1 million gallons of fuel, and you would have never got back if that's true. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Like,
But I'm
how did
just
you bring
saying,
it
They
there
they
first
stopped
of
by the
all?
ISS to gas up.
Right.
yeah,
They stopped by
crazy.
the ISS and got gas. That's
Like
what they
it's
said.
just a dagger all the way around,
All the
awakening
way
mind.
around,
That's a
bro.
good one, man.
Big facts, bro. Hell
The
yeah.
fuel kills the moon missions. That fuel conversation make them shit bricks right there. It
But
makes them.
you see how the engine is shaped, how the plane engines are shaped, like how it's shaped, like how Angkor Wat got the those turning poles that shaped just like the
Yeah, I
turbine.
wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if they using paperclip technology that was based on free energy
To
Tesla
fly.
patents, but telling us something else. Because remember, they was already had an aviation industry prior to the Wright brothers, and they wrote that out of history. I'm talking about a sky full of complicated, complex airships. We floating
Blimps.
footballs. Listen, floating football stadiums. We can't even call them blimps. The word they used then was airships. See, if you was
Airships.
back then. And the reason I like the word airship, it shows that ancient people saw the sky as an ocean. So when they looked at boats on the ocean, they looked up in the sky and said, "Well, that's an airboat." You see what I'm saying? They knew that the sky was a medium, and the Wright brothers changed the way we look at the sky. And to today, we look at the sky as something you gotta fuel up and fight against to shoot yourself like a big bullet, versus looking at the sky like your airplane is a fish in the water swimming through a medium.
You might got to do
Big
another
facts, bro.
take, Sanchez. You might got to do another video on how. Remember how they was crashing all the airships, saying that it was going out when they went out of business, and they started saying how they crashing
Yeah.
and the ships
The
was dangerous and all
them
that. Then they went to the
hoaxes.
airplanes.
The giant blimps, yeah. All
Yeah,
the
Sanchez had
hey,
a show on that
he
a
did, yeah,
while
he
ago.
did one. Yep, I
You remember
remember that.
that, Sanchez?
That brought in
Hey,
oil
bro,
and
and check
gas
this
and
out
all of
though.
that shit after that.
Like
Good
the
point, bro.
waters above. The waters above, right? The waters above. How do we sail on the waters below? We just throw up a sail and let the winds carry us. Now, when we talking about the actual diagrams and the engineering, the mechanical engineering of planes and what Redden and y'all was talking about, right? they do got diagrams, and they got plenty of documentaries about how these things can just float like we float down here on the waters below. You just throw out a sail. You don't need combustion, explosive, what they call implosive or explosive
Yeah.
energy.
And every city,
That's
in
literally
every
what it is.
city,
So
The
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
the
I got you.
thing
every
about the Wright brothers, they had to find a way to create an industry of flight based upon factoring in us fighting against gravity. Now we need a fuel to help us fight against this force that's trying to pull us down. Now came the whole fuel industry, holds the avionics, all of that aerodynamics.
Facts.
When before that, well, you have the law of density and you ain't thinking gravity. Common sense is a free airship. You just float there. You know, ain't nothing pulling you down.
and when I'm in New York or in Atlanta, I see those old buildings that look like it was charging stations for the blimps. It has that long antenna, and it has them old buildings that has for the airships to come to
You
and
can
charge
see
up or
it on
however they did.
stamps. You can see it on
Yeah.
stamps. I'm gonna show it to you. It ain't because people may think this may be a reach. It's not. Watch this. It's all on stamps, old stamps. You can see old stamps with big ass blimps or what they would have called airships docking on the tip of like the Empire State Building. Different people don't realize like these huge skyscrapers would have been docking stations for aviation or industry that existed prior to airports and the Wright brothers. This was written out of history. And you got pictures of these big ass airships docking at the top of a building, and they open up the thing and bunch of people getting out going into the building. They never had to get on the ground. So people lived in a very luxurious way back in the day, y'all. Back in the near past, they wrote this out of history. Guess what? You know how today you got rich people traveling everywhere in a jet, and they just land on top of a building, and they consider themselves like, I never gotta go on the ground. I just take my jet and land on top of the building, boom, and go travel like that. They do it in New York a lot too, helicopters and stuff. This was literally one way they used to declog the streets because everyone in cars, it was all, and you know how many children they was having back then. Y'all know how congested the roadways would have been on the small infrastructure that they had. But see, the whole thing was, you got to ask yourself, a lot of people didn't own cars. Why? You can literally go anywhere around the world in an airship for pennies. And I heard that the dining on board, you talking about a floating football stadium. And people on is dining rooms, it's like a cruise ship in the air.
Yep. Yep.
This is what people lived back in the day, man. They took all of this out of history.
And them cathedrals was cathodes, the short word for cathodes, and them energy towers.
Yeah, it
When they use
charged it up. Yeah,
brass, copper, and the cathodes and the anodes. That's
Big
for
facts.
charging
Yeah. Hey,
stations.
Redden, have y'all ever seen an ionic sphere engine where they use electricity and light in I forget what else it is, man, to actually power an engine? That's what I'm saying. Like ion, Zion, we were using light energy, frequency, and literal radiation. Like Tesla was talking about frequency, vibration, radiation. What radiation means that something's going up and down. Whatever it is radiating, which means back and forth, left, right, up, down, right? It's radiating, it's beaming, right? When you see a light radiating, it's going in and out, in and out. And that energy was harnessed back. That was the fuel back then. I just want to throw that right in.
And
I ain't
those
mixing no
airships are
words, but that's what they
literally
were talking about.
football field.
Yeah.
They big. Look how big them airships is, man.
Bro, that's
Like
the
he said, a
Vermont.
football field. They so massive.
So
Look how massive they
when
are.
they said people, they hid this entire aviational history from us behind Vermonters, because when people say that the Hindu had floating cities, people turn that into mythologies and fairy tales. The earth is a big ass Vermonter, but we literally we had real floating cities, or like what a cruise ship is, literally though. And this image right here is one of my favorite ones because it literally show a bunch of people getting off of a blimp and show you how this technology would have worked close up. But just look at the size of the people in relation to the blimp itself and think of how big this damn thing is, man.
Massive. Yep.
It's at least 20 people high and at least 50 people long.
It's
Way
like
more than 50.
Sanchez
Excuse
said,
me, not,
they're
it's
like
more than
football
100 people long.
stadiums.
Yeah,
Look
that's
how
a
big
that's
they
a thing.
are.
That's a city.
That's crazy, man.
The
It's
miners, the
actually
floating
right
city.
here.
Yeah,
It's
and
right
they
here
had a
in our
war
face.
they call that the Mahabharata. If you want to read about the floating city wars and the actual cities that was floating around throwing bombs back and forth, that's the actual epic. It's called the Mahabharata.
So
Yeah, y'all
they're
got
actually charging the airship. They wasn't even using fuel, huh?
yep,
They was just
charging it
charging
with
them.
with light energy
Right,
with that
Sanchez?
Tesla freak. Yeah.
Whenever they dock, while the people go in and dine and do all of that, the blimp is actually charging right there too while it's docked. So
Right.
when the airship gets in proximity to this docking station, at some point the pilots can kind of let go of the wheel because it's all magnetism. It's just gonna kind of magnetically pull the airship into position and lock. And once it lock, they're gonna secure it with like an anchor boom, rapid boom, and like that. You see this dude right here? He's actually doing it right now. You see him right there? I think, is that somebody? No. Well, this is where they would attach it, make the attachment. You can see the attachments and all that. But this would actually charge the thing. Now, a person may say, why are they charging it? They're not charging it to give it fuel so it can fly. It's flying for free. It's flying from free floating power, helium. It's a balloon. They're charging it so they can have lights on board. They can have music. They can have, you know what I'm saying? So the thing about it, you can never run out of electricity, and because of that, the blimp gonna crash. No, that mean they just gonna steer it with manual systems, but you ain't gonna have no power, just like a cruise ship.
What do you think they was using to make those crop circles? All those sophisticated shapes and them geometrical patterns? Were they
Well,
using like a hot steam presser? Like how were they making
what
those
they do,
shapes in the crops?
I got you. Watch this. I'm gonna show you. It's called crop circle. I call them crop circle shoes because they got videos of people actually making the crop circles in these little custom shoes that they make.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you right real quick.
Man, that's crazy. Because they're
This
making
was
three-dimensional crop circles off of two-dimensional planes. It looked three-dimensional.
well, that's like what Bob Ross do on a canvas for sure. But the whole thing is, I can show y'all news articles of people coming out taking credit for the crop circles that they made and actually reduplicating them. Here goes some of the people here. So the thing about crop circles that I don't like, because it's people like Billy Carson, right? They want to make this alien. They want to make it mysterious, like we don't know how the crop circles are forming, and they making money with books and ooh wee. When there are communities of people that's been telling you for years they are artists. This is their art, and they doing it for you. They're doing you one right now. So if anyone want to see how a crop circle is made, they can literally find it. But no one do that. Why? The conspiracy sound better. Now, guess what we learned about the crop circles? This proves that we had aviation technology because you need ground and earth communication. You need to be able to plot this out from an aerial view.
Aerial view, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Before you go, you don't gotta have no one just sitting up there in communication, but you gonna need to go up there yourself before you even begin the ground project and plot out the math and all that on your sheet. Then it's all groundwork. You just follow your math on the paper on the ground when you start pressing the grass with these shoes, and then they fly back up. And what they do, they fly back up in they little planes, and they see how accurate were they, and they be like, damn, we did a good job this time. Boom. It's a dope art form. Now, it became a mystery. Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah.
What's the name of them people, Sanchez, that you say, you know, from the ground, from the aerial view, how they had the people that make like certain shapes when they come together, a bunch of people standing on top of each other, making certain shapes.
Well, you talking about like when a bunch of people start standing on each other's shoulders to make
Yeah.
like that's called Malakam.
Okay.
Yeah, Malakam.
Big
Yo,
bro,
Facts.
bro.
so
Yeah,
they
you
had
right.
to
Yeah, go
have
ahead,
they
bro.
had to have some type of aerial thing so they could be able to see it from the ground up to
Yo,
be able to know
Sanchez,
how to make those shapes.
Sanchez, you could type in Iron Sky. It's a movie. I think it's what we talking about. It's crazy because it's exactly what we talking about. But yo, T
Yeah, I
Riggles, go
seen
ahead, bro.
that. Yeah, with the with the hey, they call Zeppelins. Thank you, whoever put in the chat the Led Zeppelin. If y'all
But guess what
frequency
this
right.
blimp is called, though? Guess what this
And that's
blimp
a
No, go
is
ahead,
rap,
go
and
ahead,
called?
that's
go
a
ahead.
The
group.
blimp is called Zeppelin.
Look,
I
check
knew
this
it.
out.
I knew it.
That's
They got it
another
right
And
there.
that's
word
a
for
rock
Check this
group,
out.
Zeppelin.
Check this out. Check this out.
uh-huh.
Look. I saw something in this picture, bro. Right, with this blimp. Okay, before we move on, right? Do you see? Doesn't that look like a Vimana?
Yeah, that's what
That
we were
Big
saying.
fact.
You
bro
right.
brought
That's what
it
y'all
Yes,
were
up.
sir.
saying.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
That's
okay.
fact.
I'm tripping. I'm late to the party.
No, you
No,
Nah,
good.
you
but
good,
if you
bro.
but check this out though, T Riggles, and I'm glad you said that because if you look at the shape that makes the blimp, it looks like the AE map being feeded from the North Pole. You know what I'm saying? If you look
It
at it,
do is lined up just
hmm
like it.
but
Yeah.
that's how magnetism work. You know what I'm saying? So when you know what the shape of a unit circle is, nigga, that's everything. That's oscillation. That's the torus field. That's how we can put sound in a spectrum. That's how you get light. The unit circle, which they call trigonometry. This is how you graph a wave. You know, a wave is just a circle. You know what I mean? But maybe I went too much there. But a wave is
Nah,
literally
it
a
is.
circle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The sine wave,
Yeah.
the
It
cosmo,
is.
the cosine to sine wave. You know, but I'd have to show y'all some of that shit
It
though.
is. Throw a pebble in a pond and you'll see the sine wave. But they just think that it's a spherical sine wave. We think it's just like on the waters above and below. And that's really what it is.
But
So
you know, we do want to point out the fact that we are gonna start saying a lot of weird stuff like globalists talking about simulation theory, bro. You mean to tell me you teaching about Big Bangism, human life starting on a germ, some mishap that's so rare and unique it just happened, and that you can get parallel universes from that? See, they reaching now. They reaching like a mug because during this new Aquarian awakening, they're not gonna be able to deny parallel universe, deja vu, astral projecting. People are tapping into these old gifts of the spirit, as they call it, which is, you know, seeing into these seeing the visions, dreaming dreams, which is what, you know, the gifts we had. But people gonna look at that and say they gotta be lying to us about reality just based upon dreaming itself or deja vu. And science know that. Science know that it's so much evidence to prove parallel reality simulation. They gotta find a way to incorporate it with this lie they've been telling about the globe Earth. But it just don't make sense. Are there a bunch of parallel realities in space? Are there a bunch of planets and galaxies with no human life? Because they trying to double talk, because they're now finna go into, well, in space is a bunch of parallel Earths and parallel universes, when at first they were saying ain't no other life out there. Now they saying we out there again. It's just another you. And that's what we've been teaching. You see what I'm saying? So they are slowly coming around to that, but they trying to maintain this heliocentric model with that, because that allowed them to keep their system of control, you know. But I'm gonna end right there, man. Peace and love, y'all. Thank y'all for joining. I got to get up out of here. That's my
Peace,
time for the
bro.
day.
Salute to the panel, man. Peace
Peace.
and love to everybody. I
Much
always love
respect,
it.
Oh
y'all.
yeah,
I appreciate y'all all the time. Salute,
for
Sanchez,
sure.
man.
Appreciate y'all too. See y'all on the next one. Be on the lookout. We out.
Peace.
Peace. Thank you, Astro 40K. for the end of show super chat. It said, if this stream don't make more flat earthers and wake people up, then damn, the world is really dumbed down. I gotta agree with that, man. Salutes to you, Astro 40K. Much love. To everybody in the chat room, appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm just sticking around to see if there's any more donations here I gotta read off on the list. Make sure I didn't miss any. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so shout out to Astro 40K again. Appreciate that the donation into Reverend Jaguar. Reverend Jagar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry, man. Appreciate y'all for real. I think that's all. Shout out to my channel members and to my Patreons. Again, be on the lookout for the notification for the next one, because I will be covering this Neil deGrasse Tyson saying gravity is now becoming obsolete, like it's a trend or something, when y'all pushing it as a fact. Like him saying gravity becoming obsolete is like Timberland using AI after saying he tired of using technology. Because remember, Neil deGrasse Tyson is the man that dropped the microphone and went viral to prove gravity. Now he the man saying, oh, that shit becoming obsolete, man. You know, it's the thing of the past, you know. I didn't know the truth was trendy. But we're going to talk about it on the next one, y'all. Peace. We out.